I guess it would be cool if you could use if you could like make a custom ending notice. So like you could set it to like whatever sound you want or something. I think that'd be really cool.
Or you guys act like you have a life outside Summoners War and you're not staring at the thing the whole time anyway.
Joe, I don't even farm.
Man, if you could put custom sounds, man. Oh, yeah.
I
just record something and put custom sounds.
Hey, your run is done.
Imagine that every. Hey, yo,
refill.
your run's done.
Like wake up, bitch.
yo, refill, go.
Yo, press replay, idiot.
Or every time you die, it goes, oh shit, here we go again.
All right, let's. I guess we're gonna get right into the podcast today. Hope you guys are doing good. As you guys already know, we have new units coming out, but they're not out yet, so we're gonna talk about them. Yep. So I want you guys' opinions on, new units. They're not released yet. Why do you think that might be? Is this a marketing strategy? Some people say there was a notice yesterday saying something about, iOS was having issues like the older versions, so they're not going to support it anymore. Like, let's talk about it because everybody is always asking the question, when are they getting released and why is it not released yet? Everybody's asking, right? As well as
I want to say this
like, these
first
and
foremost.
Sure.
I want to say this first and foremost. Like, I love it how Comtois give us teasers, regardless of like time or whatever, because it lets you have time to save up scrolls and like not summon and wait for the new monsters to come out. So I don't mind that they gave us a teaser and the monster didn't come out like the next day or the day after. So yeah, that's really cool. I'd rather them come out with a teaser and tell us they're coming out with a new hero than not at all.
Well, with the teaser, would you rather them come out with the skill sets too, or that kills the teaser?
I mean, as long as they tell us, like, I guess, like, having the skill set is nice, I think that's
regardless when they come out, they're kind of limited on time, I think, because the event, I think, takes 10 days to get the free one. So they're not going to give the free one without the other ones being released. So I think they're they have like 8 days left to release them.
I think it's good. It builds hype. We got 8 days of hype to build.
I think it's going to get released.
Got 8 days of questions. Yeah, 8 days of questions to answer.
It is a little weird though that they don't have the skill set yet, because the Beast Riders, when they teased it, like 2 days or 1 day later, they gave us the skill set already.
Yeah.
So was it data mined or they just gave us?
No, they actually
gave it to us.
There was an update notice. There was like, teaser for skill seals for this, and we were all speculating on that.
You don't remember? We were in Florida. We were in Florida for Orlando. And they
IslandGrown says it's coming out this week, so it's coming out this week.
So the reason why I think it's coming out this week, and a lot of people said as well, is because somewhere one of their notices... It's because
he's IslandGrown and he knows more than
it's IslandGrown, man.
Dude, I'm like
world famous streamer.
I'm like the last person they tell everything, dude. I'm literally the last person to tell everything. I swear to God, everybody else knows everything
of all of them already.
Yeah, they actually all do Oblivion, and they all have, if your allies get crit, you get 15% attack gauge.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a siege monster.
But the reason why I think it's getting released this week is because they said something in one of their notices or one of the teasers. They said it's coming soon in May, or it's something May is what they said. That's what my viewers told me. It said something May, so that means it has to be this month. So this month is only like what, a couple more days, right?
5 days left.
5 days left.
I'm predicting the skill sets coming tonight. 2 a.m. Eastern.
Well, it'd be nice if the skill sets come out tonight, because then they'll be released tomorrow, and then I could summon for my birthday. But if not, we have to wait for my birthday.
Happy early birthday
tomorrow.
Thank you. Yeah, my birthday's tomorrow. I never do birthday summons on. I mean, I summon every day, so every day's birthday summons. But yeah, I never actually did like a big birthday session. So this would be the first chance I would actually done one. But they're kind of ruining my hype right now. What's up?
When we grabbing dinner?
Whenever you're ready, bro. But you gotta do like
quarantine, man. The fuck is this? Hey,
we could buy dinner and you come over and eat.
Oh, that works too.
Yeah, my birthday tomorrow, bro. Got a couple lobsters and some soft shell crabs coming.
Hey, what about me, man? Where the invite? Where the invite,
bro?
No,
let's go, bro. Everybody's invited. Everybody's invited, bro.
Yeah, but you have to invite me 2 weeks ago, so I can come there and quarantine for 2 weeks.
2 weeks
ago. If I had IslandGrown money, I'd buy a flight right now and fly to New York. What do you mean?
Wait, is it flights cheaper right now? Anyways?
Yeah, they are, but I don't know if you have to quarantine now. Wherever you fly, you have to quarantine now.
I mean, shoot. I imagine when you come to New York, they go, hey, good luck. Because it's just New York,
yeah. Coming to New York, I don't think you have to quarantine.
Do whatever you want, but good luck.
Guarantee quarantine. Like, you're leaving New York right now?
Yeah.
They're not letting you in anywhere.
You heard about the guy who came to Hawaii, right? He came to Hawaii, he broke his quarantine, and you know what he was doing? He went around and he shot chickens with his spear gun. I was like, what the fuck? And he got arrested because he broke his quarantine. Yeah, it's so weird. It was on the news.
He didn't get arrested for shooting chickens with a spear gun?
I'm pretty
That
sure.
seems a little overkill, don't you think?
I'm pretty sure that's illegal, but the main reason was because he broke quarantine. Yeah.
Wait, how is hunting chickens illegal?
With a spear gun?
Using a spear gun?
In America, it's not, bro. It's
in
ancient China, bro.
I don't know if you get arrested for that.
You spear fish? Why can't you spear chicken?
I think there's difference in terms of laws, right?
Chickens
because anything
have
on
feelings,
land,
bro.
you need like a
Animal cruelty.
You need like a hunting license or something like that for like land. But I don't know why fishing. You don't need any fishing license.
But not for nothing. That whole
In the ocean.
on a side note, like that whole
Maybe not
animal
out there
cruelty
where I
thing is
live. You need a
absolutely
fishing license
ridiculous.
if you want to fish in the rivers and stuff.
I think majority of the world eats more chicken. That's not true, probably.
It's probably not true, sir.
Yeah.
This animal cruelty stuff needs.
I'm pretty sure.
Though, bro.
I'm pretty sure it
Because
was animal cruelty. Yeah.
I was okay with the animal cruelty thing, but now they're starting to cut into my foie gras, bro, and that shit's got to stop.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
is it foie gras is animal cruelty, isn't it? Because they
yeah, it'll be banned in New York in 2022.
It's
Look,
animal
when you go
cruelty when they
fishing-
just inject the steroids in the chicken. Oh my god, it's so sad.
Look,
can
when you
barely
go
walk.
fishing and you have a hook in your mouth and you're being pulled out of the water, isn't that animal cruelty?
So
too?
they also say that fish, right? Well, since I'm a big fisherman, I'll give you a little insight on that. Now they're getting off topic, but
no, this is the perfect topic.
fish, they say have no central nervous system, so they don't really feel pain. They say,
do.
but from when me catching fish and me cutting fish alive in my time, like
There's
I'm
no way.
pretty sure they feel pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They have,
I'm
Pat,
just
they have a
saying.
spinal cord. Spinal cord is the central nervous system.
You don't cut through the spinal cord, bro.
I have a spinal cord. If you're
The
cutting,
fillets I eat have no bones in them, bro.
Yo,
Like,
if,
yes,
you're
you
fill-
eat.
if you're filleting me and I have a backbone,
Oh.
it's gonna be painful.
Well, I mean, like for when I go spearfishing and stuff, we usually just brain the fish. We put it out of its misery pretty quick. Like right above the head portion, we just it's just called braining the fish, and it just puts it out of its misery really quickly.
Yeah.
So that's usually what we do. But I mean, I think there is a topic on like being humane when hunting, right? Because hunting is a thing, right? That we are, that people do.
Well, even with lobsters, bro, they have people have a humane way of killing them. Is like you have to put it in the freezer for like 2 hours, so it's like a little numb, and then you put the knife right through his head and cut down to the front.
Whoa.
Like
I mean,
Listen.
still though, if you had a hook in your mouth, I think that's pretty cruel.
yeah, I guess I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is what it is. I like fishing though, so.
I enjoy
We're
fishing as
having
well.
this conversation. right now.
I enjoy spearfishing. Yeah.
Nice,
I do
Z.
enjoy spearfishing.
Nice topic change, bro.
Huh? What? This is what we're talking about, right? Yeah, topic number 1. That's what we're talking about. So welcome. Topic
You
number
will
1.
never see me on a podcast that's the topic.
Why should we all become vegans? That's the topic number 1.
I'll never be a part of that conversation.
Yo, I love meat,
Exactly.
and not that
I ate only chicken for like 8 years.
What did you just say?
Bro, Thompson eats boiled chicken.
You heard it here first. Richard loves meat.
Thompson eats steamed. That's getting clipped for sure.
That's
Thompson
gonna clip
eats
for sure.
steamed chicken, just like that. Just steamed chicken
Best
with
way, man.
nothing.
Wait, with nothing?
With nothing.
Like no
You don't need
control or
anything.
something at least?
No, you put pepper,
Eat it
right?
with like
You have to
vegetables
put
or
some
lettuce
flavor on it,
wrap.
right? You put some
What
pepper,
about
right?
like
Like,
some sort
no,
of some
there-
sort
Yeah, you
of
put it in
no
salad.
flavor.
You should put some pepper on it, dude. Pepper is like
I've
not unhealthy.
seen it.
It just has
I've
some
seen
flavor.
him eat it.
Well,
There's nothing on
I
there.
guess it's cool.
But
I
what
don't
about the green chung? That's so good.
I'm used to it.
Like ginger,
Yeah.
green onions, a little bit of salt and oil. Like that's all you need.
Nope. Oil. There's no oil in Thompson's body, bro. You crazy?
True.
There's no room for
Okay,
oil.
cut the oil, just salt, ginger, and a little bit of green onion. Just grind it up a little bit.
How
It's
about
perfect.
just salt? With
You could
fucking
put like
save the day,
mushrooms,
bro?
lettuce wrap, peppers.
Oh god,
Do you
some
at least
pepper.
salt the chicken first before you like eat it, or do you just?
You don't
no?
need to.
he
Yeah.
doesn't. I'm telling you.
I feel like. Do you salt the mushrooms?
It's just
No.
white cardboard. Listen, he
Why would
eats
you do
white
that?
cardboard.
You know, I'm not gonna lie.
It's not cardboard, Patrick.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I think I might want to keep 2 podcasts a week. And what if we do a podcast that's like not that Summoners related, dude? I think we should have
We
some.
should.
We would have some fucking good content,
what?
man.
Aren't you doing podcasts like every other day? Like, isn't that your
Well,
thing?
We're
talking
doing
about
every
chicken?
one a week guaranteed, and then one every other week for the second one on Friday nights.
Yo,
Okay.
but besides Thompson eating cardboard, you know what else eats cardboard?
What?
Turtles?
Roaches.
Ew.
You
I do eat cardboard.
Dude,
What
this
the
is like
fuck?
the best podcast team, man. We can talk
cardboard?
about anything. It's so good. I
I
think
just
am gonna buy
compared
that.
you to a cockroach.
No,
Thompson.
that's
Fucked
not what I
up,
meant.
bro.
Whoa, I
I didn't mean it that way. I was just
Fucked up, Thompson.
yo, that was Pat. That was Pat saying you eat cardboard.
Pat never said I was a cockroach, right?
I would just say a fact.
His innocent fact led to calling you a roach.
Is not a fact. You're not saying facts.
Just called you a roach. That's what
I did not call you a roach. I just said
that's what I heard.
It's a jacked roach.
Man.
All right, Rune loves meat and loves calling people roaches. Got it.
By the way, I'm scared of roaches. I'm like, dude, I'm like a big guy, but I see a roach, I'm scared.
Yo, I know you're Taiwanese. When you go back to Taiwan, you see those fucking giant big ass roaches.
No way, yeah.
Yeah.
So how does it work in Japan? Are you just walking around, you see a killer hornet, you know those hornets? You just see them flying around? Because I heard they came from Japan, right?
Yeah, the Japanese giant hornets. That's what
Yeah, so like you're just walking in Japan, you just see it randomly flying around? Like they're
Not
like
here in like the city, man.
IslandGrown's about to lose all his viewers. Everybody's like, "Yo, is this?"
Okay. Let's talk about something.
I don't.
I mean, I really go off tangent.
Dude,
As far
I
as
really
you guys
think
wanna
we're
go.
gonna lose viewers.
I
No,
would say
absolutely not.
Chat
Because they're gonna
is
sit
way
here,
more
they're gonna
interested.
listen to us,
Yeah,
and they're gonna be like,
absolutely
"Wow,
not.
we get to see what these guys are like."
We
not
teased
playing
them a little bit,
Summons
like
for.
come to us. We
Yeah.
talked about the new heroes, and we talked about whatever we want to talk about.
Cockroaches and meat.
I'm pretty sure half the viewers are just staring at us like, what the fuck are these people talking
Half
about?
the viewers are like, "Oh, are we gonna know the skill sets of new monsters?" Just like we're just all come to us right now, man.
Yeah, all the viewers are like, "We heard that content creators saw the skills early."
Oh, only Brian. Brian
Yeah,
knows
literally
all the skills
Brian.
already.
Yep.
This
They knew they
fucker.
could show me the skills because I wouldn't remember them. Yep. Great person. I'm actually, but so let's talk a little bit more about the units. So we talked about when they were going to get released, right? I'm saying like before May because my viewers told me that. But, you know, obviously there's a certain, you know.
Well, Twitch had his G3 Legends.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So they're probably always right. But what do you guys want to see for the skills and mechanics? Like, what do you want to speculate for their skills? Like, what do you want to see get released for them?
To be honest, I hope. Well, first of all, I think the one most important thing on them is they need leader skills because there's been a while since an F5 came with a leader skill. But aside from that, like I kind of hoping they're not good, so like the chase isn't so real. You know what I mean? Because if they're good, it's gonna be a big problem, and then it throws a big wrench into SWC too. Like if one of them is OP and somebody gets it and somebody doesn't, you know what I mean? Like it puts a big wrench in the into the whole competition itself.
Or like one of the LD Net 5s is like insane.
Right, especially one of the LDs are insane. Like, you know, it's like if I get a fire one, okay, and it's good. Like, there's a high chance a lot of people have a fire one. But if it's like if I get a light one, it's like okay, you know, like you're the only one in the world that has a light one now for the competition.
Even if it's SWC and the fire one's OP, about like 2 or 3 people gets it. It's kind of unfair, you know? Because like, how much do you have to summon to
Right, there's no
actually
way
get it?
everybody's gonna get it. Yeah, because like I said, just the Beast
You
Riders alone.
basically have to buy elemental scrolls and blessings the entire way.
I
You have to buy
still
every
don't have
single
a
elemental
Beast
scroll.
Rider, man.
Like,
I'm
I mean,
so sad.
but let me say this though. Whenever there is new units released, isn't it kind of a trend that it takes a while before it comes because the unit actually becomes OP or it actually becomes kind of strong? So there is a delay.
Unless it's really OP.
Unless some of them are really OP, then there
But
is.
I don't think they're going to be really OP. You know what I mean? Like they might be OP, but not really OP. You know what I'm saying? And even if they were,
The Beast Riders are pretty OP. I think the Beast
but
Riders
look
are
how
pretty
long it took for them to be viable. Look at when they were released,
Beast
right?
Riders took time though, because when they were first released, the best
how
one,
long ago?
the best one was the fire one, right? And
Yeah.
they said water was the worst, and now water is the best one.
Water's the best.
Fire is the worst, technically.
I
you know?
didn't pull. No. I didn't pull any Beast Riders. The second I got Barbara, I used it and it was OP. So I don't know.
Yeah, like none of the new units that came out were like OP at the beginning. Like when did they get released? When was the Florida meetup last year? Like October or was it before? October?
December.
yeah.
December. So it took several months for it to be OP. So
No, they were OP. It's just people didn't use them as much.
sure. So, but then it always kind of follows that trend, right? Even when you go back, like way back before Molong too, when that first came out, it was a while before people started using that thing, man. Before it
I
had
don't
the
think
Molong era.
people didn't use them as much as a thing, but I don't think people got them in general.
I don't have them. Like
might
Savannah.
be
Yeah,
true.
like
That might
no
be
one
true.
has them, you know?
That might be true. It might take a little while for
Yeah.
people to get them.
Yeah,
You have to
People-
level them
because-
off. You
Because
have
of
to
the
double
timing
on
they got
them.
released. Well, because did they get released before Christmas or after Christmas? Like right before, right?
Before Christmas, yeah. Because I was summoning my trans scroll for it, and yeah.
Yep, 2 weeks before Christmas.
It takes a long time to summon like a brand new Nat 5, I'm telling you.
Especially since so many, like there's a lot more than there used to be.
Yeah.
So like the pool size actually just gets bigger and
hard.
bigger.
I have a
Right now,
dream.
it's really hard to summon a Beast
Yeah.
Rider.
I have a dream, I have a wish that blessings are upgraded to 3 choices instead of 2. That's my
like that.
my dream.
I have a dream for a $500 scroll that's non-dupe.
Wait, Pat.
Okay,
wasn't
well
the
that's
first
even
week,
better. But anyway, yeah, like you're not gonna get your dream. My
What you
dream
say,
is a
Rune?
little bit more.
the first week
Realistic.
of Beast Riders? You got it. You got the Masher,
I got
right?
the fire one in Florida, yeah, but I went 55,000 crystals to get that one, which is
actually, it's
because
not
if
that
you
much.
get one, it doesn't matter how much you use. You know what I'm saying?
Did you
Like,
go a
it's
blessing on every single scroll? Or
I
every-
blessed everyone. I haven't ever missed a blessing.
Did you get any non-dupes before that?
You got a couple.
Or just-
You got a couple that were new, but
Non-dupe, no, all dupes.
no, you got a couple
only
non-dupes
time-
that were like you couldn't use.
The only time I get non-dupe is my last 6 non-dupes were double non-dupes,
That's funny.
and the 40 something that's been in between them has all been double dupes.
Last
It was
week I
like
got you that
easy
five.
choice. It was between like Barbara or Brandia. He's like, oh Brandia. I mean Barbara, easy pick.
No, it was Barbara Wind Demon.
Yeah,
Water
yeah.
Demon. Barbara Water Demon.
Hmm.
That was my last one. Barbara Water Demon.
Even the new updated Water Demon is trash.
Yeah, Brandia was Masha and Brandia. I seen Odin 3 times before I took an Odin. So yeah, it was Bulwark Odin, Josephine Odin, then Bulwark Odin. So like it's always double non-dupe or double dupe every time, dude.
Wow.
But even after that 55,000 crystals for the Masha, from the Masha to the Barbara took like 30 something legendary scrolls and like 150,000 crystals. And the second transcend is what got Barbara. So like there was a lot of summons in between Masha and Barbara, you know what I mean? So it's hard. It's really hard to pull a new unit, dude. Like it's like
When
really
you're
have
specifically
two.
going for it, when you're specifically going for a targeted unit, or if you
Yeah,
have a lot of
that's
nat
true.
fives,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
very
true.
low probability. It's true.
So this goes back to imagine one of them is OP and we're all trying to like participate in SWC. Oh, the chase is real.
yeah,
you
the
know?
chase is real, dude. If there's one really good one, everybody has to get it, or you're really at a disadvantage. You know what
But
I mean?
you think they're really gonna make one that's OP? I think they're gonna make them I hope that they make them strong.
Yeah, it's gonna
but
be a
I
lighter
don't-
dark one.
But
I hope
I know I
them
hope they
easy.
make them strong, but I hope they don't make any of them like OP, right? At least manageable, a good unit that they can use, but ways to deal with it. I don't know.
I
Right?
hope they're
I don't
all.
think it's a bad thing.
So I don't have to go bankrupt if they're all.
Any monster that's strong, everyone's gonna call it OP, right?
Well, here's
Like,
the play
yeah.
though.
OP
What they
and
do-
strong is the same
Every
thing.
unit that's strong that you don't have is automatically OP.
Yeah,
the
you're right,
strat
you're
though,
right.
the strat though, to not piss everyone off and still make good money is to make one of the 4 stars LD really OP. That's the way you do it.
Oh, God.
That's
like
the
Martina?
strat. You make it the LD one, but not the Nat 5, so it seems more attainable.
The
Right?
LB now 4s are so hard to get. It's been like 4
Exactly, but
years.
that's
I still
the
haven't
mental
got a
bait
Molly
right
yet.
Oh,
there.
You have one
That's the mental
IRL.
bait.
Why you need the game one?
Want
Huh?
the game one?
Huh?
The real one's better. Bro.
It's a
Way
meme.
better.
When people
Everyone-
fight me, they just flash
Game
Molly
better.
and they already won the war.
I should do that.
They won the war.
Wait,
Yeah, I
you're
won the
right,
battle,
Diego.
but they win
You're
the
right.
war.
Wait, you're right. The IRL Molly could potentially be more expensive than the in-game Molly. I see where you're going with this here. Trying to save a little money, right? I got you.
I honestly think the new Nat 5s.
I
just,
think the in-game
Kidding.
Molly
Don't be mad at me,
could-
Molly. Kidding.
they what is it? I
Season
think the
killing.
power creep is too high right now. Like going from like the skill set of all the beast riders, right? If they're going with the trend of doing that, I think the ink what they call ink masters, they're
Art
gonna be
Masters.
art masters. I think they're gonna be strong.
I think they're gonna have leader skill, bro. To be honest, I really think they're gonna have a leader skill. The last couple came out with no leader skills.
Well, that's because their kit, right? You gotta look at the Beast Riders kits. They got so much. They got a revive technically that's not a revive that's on a cooldown.
It's because they have the passive.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the passive's not on cooldown. Plus, you revive back with Beast, so you technically have 4 lives.
Well, before them was the demons, right? The demons had nothing.
Yeah,
It's
the
because
Consider it,
traditionally-
consider
no,
it 3
demons
lives because
have,
they have 1.5 lives total.
Traditionally,
Oh.
they have usually 4 things, right? It's either they have like 2 skills, 1 passive, and a leader skill, or they have 3 skills and a passive. That's why the Beast Riders don't have a leader skill, right? Because they have 3 skills.
Demons have passives. Oh, not passives. Leader skills.
Demons have leader, but they only have 2 skills, and then they have
Yeah.
a passive and a leader skill. It's because it's usually in numerals of 4. You don't see units with 3 skills, a passive, and a leader skill, right? And if
Yeah.
there's maybe only like 1 unit like that. So that's why. So if you want Beast Riders to have a leader skill, then maybe if they had 1
Maybe
less skill, then right?
Maybe they won't have a leader skill, but I feel like the art behind these monsters is gonna have it's gonna make it have some kind of like quirky kit. I feel like.
I can't
No,
imagine
no, no,
whacking
that's
someone to
unique.
death with a pen. So they must be some type of support hero, right?
Or like a control.
No, I think they're gonna be a bruiser, some kind of bruiser and
Oh,
debuffer.
HP, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, bruiser,
So-
bruiser debuffer.
by the size of the actual unit, I guess you could probably think it'd be a bruiser. Like bruisers are usually kind of fattish.
Right, and then after that, what?
Dude, it's fat? What do you mean? How's it fat?
This guy Loki just called Tiana fat. The fuck? The nerve of this guy.
Bruiser.
I mean, like Feng Yan is fat. You know,
Okay, all right.
Ink Masters are not fat. Come on now.
What
So
you
I
gonna say?
What's fat to you?
Sunday
Like
night.
20% body fat? That's fat, or what?
What are you gonna say, Tyler?
On Sunday night, I was like laying in bed and I was like thinking, I was just thinking about the game. I was like, kind of feeling like, because I had a good RTA day, so I was just thinking about the game. And then I had this like moment where I thought about the new unit kit skills, and I was like, what if one of the mechanics of the new units is that they can just like change the element of a unit?
I was gonna go to like.
How cool would
That's a
that
funny
be? You
thing.
could just like, bam, suddenly you're a water unit, or suddenly like you're a neutral unit now.
That would
Like
be
you
kinda
no
cool.
longer have whatever element you were.
So if
Right?
you go
How
back
cool would
to-
that be?
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you go back to Bleach, right, there was like the character that uses like a paintbrush, and he had the ability of changing the power of whatever.
Yeah, or you can like, or you like paint. This is one that I think Rafflemaker came up. Where Rafflemaker was like, what if it just like paints over your attack bar, or like paints over your health bar, and you just can't see it? Like that's wild. Like you just literally just can't see your health bar, or your attack bar anymore. Like you just have to play the rest of the match out.
Yeah,
for,
there were some people that came to the stream immediately and wanted to see some kind of random change. We kind of discussed if they did something like that, it would be like a random element change though. So like it's a unit that like the Art Master could use a skill and it would randomly change the like enemy's element or whatnot, or be able to maybe change your ally's element to something you want to choose or select, right?
Or you get like
And-
Grimstroke from Dota, where you can connect two units together, and suddenly like if you deal damage to
Yeah,
one
I-
unit,
I-
it hits
I
the
think-
other one.
I think something quirky though, just because like the way they look. I think they have
Well-
like an interesting something new with that kit.
That is new. Changing the element is
Yeah.
huge in
No,
battle.
absolutely. Yeah,
That's
that's
big.
what I mean. Yeah, something new.
Yeah.
Or
it's
like
big.
a stealing someone's skill 3 effect or passive.
We're taking Rubik now. Pog.
Yeah, Rubik.
Mm.
We got Rubik. We got Grimstroke.
Wait, you play Dota? What the heck? Morphling? Yeah.
I have a lot of hours in Dota.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
that's
too.
fine. Yeah, me too. Oh, nice, Brian. I see
Yeah.
how you did that.
What?
Yeah.
I'm Dota
Great.
master, bro.
All right.
You want
Brian has a
play?
lot of
Whoa,
hours in Dota.
IslandGrown in
Auto
town.
chess.
Wait. I'm Dota master. You didn't know? You didn't know?
Let's do it.
But you want to challenge me? You're gonna have to go through my senpai though. Cuz over here.
Oh.
Cuz is number one
why
Dota
does
player.
this senpai? Okay.
Yeah, Cuz is number one
I see
Dota
what you're
player,
doing
dude.
there.
You see what I'm doing
Yeah.
there? Yeah, I don't know.
All
Sounds
right.
familiar, doesn't
All
it?
right.
Huh?
Why? Because we got to play Dota so I could get.
Wait,
so I could
wasn't
play,
someone else
beat you
someone
and play Brian.
LOL master or something?
Okay, if we're playing Dota, we're playing with legacy keys just to fuck with y'all.
I have no idea. But I mean, I know what that is. Yeah.
I have no
Yeah,
idea what
yeah, I
that
knew
is.
you would know what that is, Mr. Dota legend over here.
Yeah, challenger. Yeah, that's what they call it, right? Top player, challenger. Anyways, back to the speculation. What else do you guys want to see? So it seems like the Art Master is like a debuffer bruiser. That's speculation, right? Obviously, he could just be a debuffer, but maybe not bruiser, maybe a damage dealer. And I think the String Master is gonna be a support unit, 100%, right? Some kind of buff.
Yeah.
unit. She buffs.
Or like another boomerang warrior, you just throw the instrument at someone.
Oh,
So I know this is wild. But I hope the String Master makes me want to turn the game sounds on. I know that sounds weird, but I hope it happens. I hope they have
Yeah.
like cool animations that have really cool sound effects too.
I doubt it though.
My
Wow,
game
that's,
sounds
uh,
are always
Sounds
on.
are kind of all the
that's
same.
that's
I
absolutely
want a reason to
lost
turn the game
content.
sounds on. I've had them off for 5 years. I want to turn them back on for something useful.
They're staying off.
Yo man, my game sounds on.
How many of you guys don't like? How many of you guys actually play with game sounds?
I don't.
I
Me.
did to practice like when I play on stage. There's going to be game sounds, so just to hear and stuff like that.
Bro, my phone don't make any sounds, bro. We got a baby at home. Nothing makes sounds.
My phone never makes sound.
If somebody calls me, wakes the baby, game over. So nothing makes a sound on my phone.
The sound helps me keep farming. I know when I
Oh, that too.
What
Yeah.
about ending notice? It just buzzes.
mine doesn't buzz.
Wait,
Mine
let's
makes
be
sound.
real. You use the sound to tell you when to farm. Okay, let's be real. Summoner's War has already installed an internal clock in your head where you're gonna look at the device no matter what after X amount of seconds. Like like anyone else do that? You're farting. Like I have my sound off, but I know, and I just instinctively look that way
Every time
after a
you
certain
look
amount
at-
of time. Like
And
every
the
time,
dragon
dude.
Just about to lay down every time you look.
Yeah, every time, dude. Every time. Just always just turn there after a certain amount of time. Instill
Sometimes it helps
upon
when you're upgrading runes and it takes forever, right? You go dung dung dung, and then when you upgrade, it goes ding.
Wait, sorry
yeah,
again. Let
I
me
don't
hear
know
that.
what
Let me hear that to verify if that's the sounds. Was it nice? Oh, okay.
I'll do it again.
I think I can do it for you guys. Hold on.
Oh no.
Wow.
It's kind of an annoying sound though because all I hear is the.
It's so slow. I hope they upgrade Rune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Do
something
you guys
really
remember? Do you guys remember the old upgrade sound?
No.
Or the old upgrade time? Sorry,
Yeah, it's just slower.
it was even
Yeah.
slower.
It was even slower.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was slower. It was slower. That's true.
Yeah.
It takes 10 seconds to upgrade to level 3. You know, like 3 seconds per.
Whoa.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
This is why.
I think
this is why
it probably used to be 5 before.
Flat amount of mana, and you just pay it, and you level the rune up. That's it. End of story.
Yeah, quick maths, right? 3 seconds per. There's 3. Takes 10 seconds. Quick maths with Thompson. Good thing you.
Hey
told
Brian,
us.
someone in chat was right. If you're using an iPad, it doesn't buzz.
Oh really?
The ending notice.
I didn't know that. I always play on device, mobile device.
Tablets are mobile devices, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, on
Oh,
tablet.
I guess they're considered mobile devices. True.
Yeah, because you can get data on them.
So then,
Is there just no is there no buzz feature like built into an iPad? Is that why? Like where's your phone can vibrate, right?
Yeah, your phone's
iPads just don't have them.
I guess it's because people don't use the iPad as a phone.
I guess it would be cool if you could use if you could like make a custom ending notice. So like you could set it to like whatever sound you want or something. I think that'd be really cool.
Or you guys act like you have a life outside Summoners War. You're not staring at the thing the whole time anyway. With
So I don't even farm.
Man, if you could put custom sounds, man. Oh, yeah.
I don't even-
I just
farm.
record something and put custom sounds. Hey, your run is done. Imagine
Hey,
that
yo.
every.
Hey, yo,
your
refill.
run's done.
Like wake up, bitch.
Yo, refill, go.
Yo,
That'd
press
be
replay,
annoying.
idiot.
Or every time you die, it goes, oh shit, here we go again.
No, they're not doing that. All right, back to the topics. We're have we have some issues with keep it on topic today. But any other mechanic or skill things that you guys want to see for these units, for these art masters and string
I
masters?
do
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to see a mechanic. I want to see more like Rocky kind of mechanics.
Like kill through death effects or like prevent.
Yeah.
death.
Okay.
That's true.
These two units don't look very much like killers. Is the problem?
Yeah, they don't.
I mean, if you got smacked with a brush, what I want to hear is a smack sound and a little bit of dribbling of ink. Like a smack.
You're just really into his sounds, huh?
Yeah.
Yo,
he is, man.
yeah. I mean, I
Damn.
do play with sounds, so.
So speaking of sounds, would you be interested in like voice packs for the game? Because after saying that, someone said IslandGrown voice pack, and I was like, dude, I'd pay to have a voice pack of Talkish yelling things while I'm doing RTA.
Oh my god.
Like, if you get resisted, just having Talkish yell resistance or something would be hilarious to me.
I would buy the YDCB pack instantly. I'm not gonna joke. I'm not lying. I'm buying. I don't even care if he doesn't play anymore. If they sell voice packs, I'm buying the YDCB voice pack. 100%, dude.
He still plays, doesn't he? Does he
Just a lot
still
more
play?
casually,
Yeah.
like super casual. Yeah, super
Like,
casual.
he streams it like once a week or so, maybe once every
Yeah.
2 weeks.
The problem is nowadays when he plays a game, he's like, I mean, this is a low key flame, but I don't give a fuck, dude. Yeah, when he plays the games, he goes, oh yeah, that unit. What's the name again? What's the name of that unit again? He just died like the whole stream. What's the name of that unit again?
Oh.
I don't know if he's memeing or if he actually doesn't remember the units' names anymore because he's playing
For
so much
Summoners
Epic
War?
7 now. Yeah, he's playing a
Oh.
lot of Epic 7. Yeah, he's really good at it too. He's like really high in Epic 7 in terms of his rank
Nice.
and whatnot. Yeah. But anyways, great topic number 1, I guess. Had a variety of different responses and discussions on this one topic, more than what was here. But all right, moving on to topic number 2. Yeah, I do hope that these units get released sometime this week. Maybe you're right, maybe today. Maybe the skills will get released sometime today or whatnot. People typically say that patches and stuff come out today and Thursday usually, so maybe we'll see it sometime this week. I think it should be this week though, before May.
I got Patrick here checking Reddit like every like hour, and he sent everybody this like the new packs got released, right? Not
I don't-
released, but
Oh,
Data
yeah,
mine.
I-
Data
Oh,
mine.
yeah, I heard about that.
I never checked Reddit in my life, but
Uh-huh.
I'm in a lot of chats that have people that do that. So
Oh yeah. So the new packs got data mine, and that pack seems pretty decent.
Oh yeah?
It's
I mean,
like
maybe drop
if
some
it just
fire
had
packs.
if it just had reaps and L&D scrolls, it's good already. But it added 30 more mystical scrolls, 10 more elemental scrolls, 2 more legendary scrolls. It's pretty crazy.
Oh,
Maybe-
it's on Discord too. That's what I remember where I saw it.
Maybe it's for their other anniversary. That's why, because global anniversary is June. We know that for sure. So it could be a pack for global anniversary. That's what I'm thinking.
Ooh,
That would make
nice.
sense, right? That would
Yeah.
make sense. Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be as big as
Yes.
their other anniversary. This anniversary was bigger, I think. I mean, they did a crazy amount of stuff, right, for this one.
Yeah,
So, I don't know how big global anniversary is.
that
Monster
event.
Pack
Best,
3, $100, 2 legendary elemental scrolls, 30 elemental scrolls, 3 LD scrolls, 10 reaps, 2,000
crazy, right?
2,500
That's-
crystals.
2,500 crystals and 500,000 mana. But
If that actually comes true, that's a pretty good pack. Yeah, that's a pretty good value pack.
10 reaps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
10 reps
LNGs
sounds-
alone, it's good, you know.
You know, the whole theory behind that is like people sound like, oh, it's too good to be true. It's too many things, but you got to understand, like the 6th anniversary just passed. They just gave out like really insane value packs. Like if they don't do something like comparable, people are like, oh, why-
wait,
so
someone,
shitty, you know what I
someone in
mean?
chat just said it though. It might be a pick 3 or pick 2 kind of thing, and it still would be
Oh.
OP, but it might be a pick 2-3. Yeah, might
Yeah.
be pick 2-3.
I thought about that when I saw it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But still, you're gonna choose the reaps and you're gonna choose the LDs, I guess. Unless you need fodder. If you're mid game play, you take the scrolls, right? 30 scrolls. That's a lot. That's like what, 2,100 value of scrolls? 20.
Well, it depends. The scrolls is interesting too because if you're really just trying to chase the unit, you know what I mean. Like if you're
Right,
trying
right,
to
right.
chase Savannah, you know, you pick 30 win scrolls.
Right.
I don't know. You're always trying to chase LND units, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Huh?
All right, moving on to
mean,
topic number 2 here. Topic number 2. I wanted to talk a little bit about Second Awaken since we haven't really talked about them in a while. I kind of want to get your general thoughts on like what units.
I've been using it every week. How can we talk about it now?
Exactly. Right, but what units are like the most common to build? Like, because everybody always asks, right? What do I need to build of the 2As? Let's talk about the most common ones, and then let's talk about some of the newer ones, like the Griffins, and you know, kind of the ones that are a little bit more OP, and then what we want to see next for 2As in the future.
I used the Bernard to farm the Illudia.
Elunia.
Lunia.
Illunia, yeah, Illunia. Thank you, Tyler.
Okay, are you asking PvE, PvP, or both?
How about both? Yeah, just give people the general like list of the units that hey, gotta build these. Like everybody
He
has
owes-
this build.
Miho's retarded.
I think the most common one, Miho. Like everyone's getting Miho.
I think the best 2A unit in the game is Crow.
Okay.
If you're talking
I'm a
overall
Crow
usage.
user myself, but I use Crow in PvP content.
Crow makes all the PvE content really easy.
That's true. But I'll tell you what, in R5, I still like Brandia more.
If she's
And my
skilled.
team.
If you're unskilled, you can't use Brandia.
Oh, okay, no, skilled.
Yeah, she has to be skilled to be better.
Yeah. Huh?
Did you say Brandia R5?
Yeah, no, like in the 2-team R5, sometimes I
I thought you meant like
it
not.
does more damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my other team is like Katarina, Belgier, and then my middle team is like Brandia.
I
Never
guess
mind.
I'm confused.
Everyone does BJ5. Okay.
Yeah. So I think Crow is a really good one for PvE for players getting in. What else do you have? We have Ryok. You have Elucia. I think Elucia is like one of the biggest must devil mod ones too, if you use it.
Lucia is one of the best units. I mean, ridiculous unit. Two CCs, a heal on a 2-turn cooldown, the heal cleanse bar push on a 2-turn cooldown. Like it's
Attack
ridiculous.
scaling too.
Yeah. So it's a nuts unit. It's absolutely
She's nuts, but I've noticed that a lot of like earlier players are getting into the trap of trying to build her like in the early mid game, and it's like you need to wait till later because her Second Awaken dungeons is not easy.
No,
Like
it's
you need
hard.
specific
It's
units to
annoying,
beat it.
It's an annoying one. It's not that it's hard. It's an annoying one. Like you could
Mhm.
beat it with anybody could beat it, but it might take you like you might have to do the long route. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
Might
might
take
have
you,
to
like,
stage 4.
2-3
healer.
minutes
I think
to
chilling
figure it
is the
out.
way to go if you want to beat it. You just
Yeah.
pick chilling and you just hit auto.
I think I've been seeing a lot of people using Vigor lately in RTA. Like
Yeah.
the
Heard
past,
about him.
like, 2
No, there's another Second Awakening monster better than Vigor.
Yeah.
Bernard.
Is it?
That's
Is it?
Bernard.
No. Is it the
Me
one?
and
That,
Brian
is that,
knows.
is that the one I'm thinking of? Is it the one I'm
O-
thinking of?
Only if you have Nephestus on your team.
Sure. All right, abandon
Yeah.
Nefestus. See what happens.
So
Bernard
unit
is
that
wicked good in RTA.
the unit
Huh?
that Thompson is talking about that a lot of people are sleeping on right now is I think Khan. Yeah, I recently did my RTAs. I always do placements with all the 2As for fun and see how it goes. And so we just did 5 Griffin RTAs. That video's already out. We had a lot of fun with that. And I was obviously I knew Bernard was good, right? I was hearing people are using Bernard on Violent and he was great, right? Great unit on Violent, does good damage, a lot of, utility. But the unit that I was interested to see and actually was very, very impressive was Khan. I thought he was pretty good. Khan
High five,
as in the
brother.
water one. Yeah, he's OP, dude. Actually OP. Now, we all know it's OP for when you have more debuffs, right? Because skill 2, you get 30% attack gauge, which actually goes up with skill ups per debuff. That's already on there, or from what you apply, which you apply defense break and attack down. But so Thompson having Nefties or anybody else out there with other debuffs, combined with that, you can basically just set up yourself to get an additional turn and nuke right away, right? With third skill, which it does an insane amount of damage.
You don't necessarily need Nefties, but you need something that has 2 debuffs to go before you. And if you really want to one-shot something, one of those debuffs has to be an armor break, or unless you're sure you're going to land it yourself, you know what I mean? But without the armor break, the skill 3 hits for nothing. But if you have 2 debuffs on before you go, your skill 2, if you can land the 2 debuffs, then it'll automatically give you an extra turn.
Yeah. The other factor that's good about Khan as well is even though you're saying 2 debuffs before and 2 from Khan so that you can guarantee get the additional turn, sometimes it doesn't have to be that way. You can take a turn 2. And if they just moved and you use your S2, you're lapping them because you're going to get at least 60%. So you're going to go next anyways. So his turn cycling throughout the match is actually insane in a multitude of areas. Not like, of course, what you're saying, true, but also in so many other positions. He's able to go like a crazy amount of times. So
can we talk about the real killer here?
Ooh.
The problem with Khan is that if you second awaken him and then you don't devil on him, he does worse than World Boss.
That's true.
Happened?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
But just that one.
Someone showed me the screenshots of theirs before they 2-8 it. It was in the first team. It was in the first team, and then they 2-8 it, and it was at the bottom of the second team.
Interesting.
Because it's not skilled. Like that's
Except
how much
you're talking to these 5 people that don't care about World Boss. So.
I think it's funny. I just think it's really funny that it's like that.
But if you are building Khan for World Boss, you have multiple. So it's just that one that you eat a loss on, right? If you're 2-8ing it technically.
I know a lot of people that build Khans for World Boss.
Does Khan have Devilmon skill or cooldown skill ups?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
But more attack gauge, more attack bar absorption or gain.
So much better. There's something so much better than building Khans for World Boss.
Yeah, dongers.
Just use a credit card, bro.
Ah.
Way fast.
The thing is, most of those units, like if you're doing nat 5s, they have to be skilled. Otherwise, they're worse than 4 stars.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay to do it. Back then, a lot of people did it. I don't know if a lot of people do it now still, but back then, people did it a lot.
Yeah, let's be
Gildong is still the best.
Yeah, World Boss is just a flex, though. It's just a flex, though. You know what I mean? It's the benefit of what you're gonna get from Triple S on the long term. It's not that crazy, anyways.
You just put all the runes you're not using right now on. You just hold them there forever.
Exactly, they're your rune holders. Oh, but by the way, yours is skilled up, right, Thompson? Mine was unskilled, and I was impressed.
It's still good.
Yeah, that's right. I was very impressed with it. So
yeah,
I might put some runes on and have some fun with it. It's such a nice unit. Such a nice unit.
It doesn't really need any because it's self armor breaks, so you don't really need to bring it with like any units, any crazy units. Yeah,
and it's tanky. It's tanky too.
It's very tanky. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst 2A. Fire werewolf. What's his name? Garoche?
No, that's not the worst.
Fire werewolf.
Garoche.
No.
Doesn't it cool down your skills?
No, that's the wind one. The fire one is the one that heals every turn.
He has a passive self heal.
Yeah, and he's a bad tank.
Did you make one?
No.
No, I tell you the worst one. Worst one is Water Dog. Water Dog is the worst one. Water Inugami is the absolute worst one.
Water Inugami is terrible.
It's actually the worst one.
He still pulls your other teammates, so your other teammates could be useful. The Fire Werewolf doesn't do anything.
You're right.
No, he doesn't pull anything because he needs so many stats to pull anything that he doesn't do anything.
If you get okay defense, it still pulls in like 1 or 2. That technically does more than the fire one can do. So you're right, I guess. That the skill is OP, but the unit still sucks. Absolutely.
So Ryujin, have you I want to talk about Vigor a little bit. I mean, I used Vigor, but I really didn't like Vigor for a few reasons. One, I guess like my accuracy was really doo-doo. And sometimes like it'll hit 3 times and doesn't armor break. And it's just really bad. And 2, it scales by HP. So later on in the game, it just doesn't do anything. And it always drags on to later on in the game when I'm using Vigor. So like, I don't know, like why do you like Vigor?
I think it's more so because like he's got the AoE heal plus speed buff. And he's also a single target, like defense break. But
where are you? What kind of role are you using your Vigor for? Like when you pick him, what is the intent of use?
Healer, support, defense speaker. He's not
your main damage, right? He's a defense breaker to set someone else up.
If anything, my main damage dealer is Arda.
Okay, and so what's yours when you're picking him, Thompson? Because that's really what it comes down to, like using these units, right?
I just pick him when I see like Vertihills or Anturuses, just against fire units in general. You know, like when I'm drafting.
Like I see your.
So are you picking him as main damage though? Is my question. Or is he
Well,
just
it's
for
hard
the
to say
anti-crit
because
buff?
yes, he does damage, is on crit damage HP, but like, what if they ban my damage dealer? Like, what if they ban
That's what I'm asking. Like, are you
yeah,
relying
then-
on him
then
to
his
do a
role
lot of
is the
damage?
dealer, you know?
He has
Right?
Nifty's Gianna. He doesn't rely on anything besides Nifty's Gianna.
Yeah, I think if
I
you
don't know.
need the role,
That's kind of a hard discussion. Like when you look at units, it's what do I want to use the unit for? When it's like this multi-use unit.
I use Vigor a lot, and the issue you have with Vigor is if and when he armor breaks. That's the biggest thing. If he armor breaks in the first hit, he could chop something down. If he doesn't armor break on the first hit, he doesn't kill anything. So his damage either goes from pretty decent to 0. You know what I mean? Versus like a thing like Thompson replaced him with Khan. Khan has that potential to one-shot anything.
right?
You know what I mean? So you're guaranteed. It's like Daphnis or like I don't know, some soft hitting fire unit that can't one shot. You know what I mean? What are you gonna pick? That's kind of the scenario that Thompson has. Has a view of Vigor on. Is like
I think the water wolf is okay. You know what I mean? But he's just outshined by other units that can do that job. And I mean,
I think he's just a really good counter pick. He's great to pick against people.
So for Isher is more of a support unit instead of actually like a HP nuker, right? He's just there. He's there.
Well, Escher is straight up a speed booster now. Like nobody else uses Escher any other way besides like
support.
build super fast to boost your team turn 1.
That's the same reason I'm using Vigor. He's a support unit, but he's like similar to Isher without the boost. But
yeah, I'm okay with Vigor too.
What do you pick him into? He's a slot 5, right, for you, Rune, when you use him? Slot 5? Or are you talking Guild Wars Guild Siege? Is he a slot 5 in RTA for you, or where are you using Vigor?
Vigor is more like in general, like Guild Wars Siege. Like I don't RTA as much as the rest.
Oh,
of the
okay. But Guild Wars Siege, okay. I think he can be a very
but
strong unit.
But I have been watching. Like the thing is, like with like the past 2 weeks, because I watch replays of like top guild, top people playing, and then I've noticed like what I've noticed, I saw a lot of people picking Vigor. I'm like, like, but
it's because a lot of people are picking Belgial again. A lot of people are going like fire heavy right now, so Vigor's really good. And like through G1 to G2 right now, a lot of people are picking like Veligil and then going triple fire.
There's so many interesting water units now.
I have a question. I have a question.
Somebody fucking picked 4 fire units against me and let me bring in 4 water units against him yesterday. Why?
I have a question though. These same people that pick in Vigor, yes or no? Do they have a Barbara? Because if they have a Barbara, I think they're picking Vigor because they don't have a Barbara, man. But because I think I 10 out of 10 choose Barbara in every situation like that.
I agree with you.
10 out of 10 times correct.
So then maybe they're using.
I don't get to Vigor that much because I pick Barbara a lot, So
yeah, because you already have a Barbara, you're not going to be using Vigor. But I see that's the reason, right? Like what Tyler's saying, more fire heavy units. People are trying to look for those water units, and
well, even water units, like you can use Vigor against water units really well, right? Like
okay.
Vigor does all right versus Mina too, like on top of being good versus Verd and good versus Antair. It's also not a terrible pick against Tiana because then people have to consider, do I want to take the risk or not, right? Depending on where the attack bar sits. He's just like a kind of like safe support pseudo damage dealer. Like I don't build mine on full damage. If I use him, I only use him for defense break. He's not the main damage dealer ever. And the reason I use him is because I want the speed buff, because the speed buff lets me lap people on the third turn.
His skills don't have the ability to be the main damage dealer. Like it's impossible for him to be the main damage dealer.
I also think that if you're going to use Vigor in RTA, he has to be skilled, because the cooldown is just
I think almost
required.
anything used in RTA, almost everything in RTA needs to be skilled. If you want to use it,
you can get away with some of the other ones without skill ups, but like without the cooldown on his skill 3.
Oh, he has a cooldown reduction?
Yeah, he has a cooldown. It goes from 4 turns to 3 turns.
Okay.
So it makes him have infinite defense break if you last.
He's just like Elucia. It's literally unusable without skill ups. Anything with skill cooldowns.
I've been using Elucia without skill ups.
Oh, really? I mean, I think the level up would be far more drastic once you get the skill ups for her, though. She's really
probably should.
Skill ups. Yeah, she's really good with
so the Japanese guy that I have on favorites watching his replays, like he uses Vigor with like Ileana, Halthor, Arda, and Unsa. And he usually picks against like fire, like Vanessa, Daphnis, Veligil, like you said.
So it's like tanky. He has a tankier comp, so it makes sense, right? Adds a defense break, which makes all his bruisers do more damage, and brings in sustain and turn cycling, right, with the speed buff and heal. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
When people pick the Hathor Ileana setups, having the speed buff there as the second option instead of taking the Verd is really good, because then you don't need to have the Verd, right? You can just pick Vigor and you can have a little bit of a heal. You have speed buff, and then you just rotate, right? It's like an alternate option to the Amelia. The Amelia gives you the solo potential, and so does the Vigor.
Like I said, Vigor is very usable. The issue is there's a lot of stuff that's just a better choice. You know, there's just a lot of better choices out there is the issue. Like when you're running that comp, like what does it really matter what that Vigor slot is? You know what I mean? Like you're already running a pretty broken comp. You know, if the Vigor is like anything else, it'll still be good.
He's currently ranked 34 under Stan. That's the guy I was watching.
In that case, Bernard is better.
For what?
In that slot, Bernard.
Yeah,
Bernard's really good.
Yeah,
Bernard's more aggressive though. I feel like a lot more aggressive of a unit because he does way more damage too, right? Like I say, Vigor is kind of like that setup is kind of what we agreed upon, but Bernard's like a damage dealer in my opinion.
He is a damage dealer.
Lands armor break, it does a lot of damage too.
Dude, I think all the S1s of all the Griffins are nuts. The scaling of that thing and with the base stats now, they all hit so hard, dude. It's
the
something
speed buff gives you a lot of damage.
All their base speeds are nuts too.
You're just not used to the damage that comes out of that skill 1. So it just feels underwhelming, but it just hits like a truck, man.
It does. I
think it's called Snatch. I think that's skill 1, Snatch.
Yeah, it goes Snatch.
Dude, it hits hard, dude. It's crazy.
They have good base speed too. All of them. It's pretty cool.
Right, like 111 or some crap, right? Well, pretty much all, except for like Spectral, like 15.
That's a big thing too with these new units. With these new units that are coming out, if they come out and they're slow, they might be a problem to use.
Yeah.
Well, if they're slow, they're going to be really good supports. I hope, because otherwise they're not going to do anything.
Like really thick bruisers, because if there's like, you know what I'm saying, like the whole thing with these,
you ready? 13k HP.
Crazy speed is nuts, you know.
One of those R masters is going to have 13k HP, I believe.
That's the thing with Beast Riders, like Barbara at 108 base speed. That's crazy, you know. 108.
126.
That's a big part of why the Beast Riders are strong, is because
if it's like 105 or 100 is a huge difference. It's 10 freaking.
I mean, the true weakness to the Beast Riders though is the long cooldowns. You know what I mean? That's the true weakness to them. But that speed is not.
It's the forced will. You have to be on will unless you're running first.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They scale on speed as well, which is kind of nuts. You know what I mean? Like speed.
That's why Leo's so common again. Leo's being super meta.
Yeah, Leo counters it pretty well. Or like the strategy everybody's saying, right? Just do your best to draft into it, knowing that you're gonna try to take the Beast Rider immediately off the mount. If you can do that, then you're in a good spot, right? But that's
technically, Leo does counter them because of the speed setup. But there's also a lot of times where you can just leave the Leo in because it doesn't matter. Like,
there is, and Masha is really good against that.
A lot of people pick Leo and then don't pick enough damage to support the Leo or support to like out-turn the enemy. Like if you just pick Leo and like no attack bar gauge, no defensive setup, nothing that counters the Beast Riders, you will just lose because on the first turn they'll either kill somebody else or they'll kill Leo.
They armor break. It's crazy.
Yeah, because your Leo's not gonna be on will. It's not gonna have protection.
I do like how Leo's back in the meta though. It's kind of nice. So you can make like anti-Leos and like stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Well, what about those people that try to counter pick you with Tableau against Leo and then screw themselves?
That's the funniest.
Wait a minute.
I've seen that movie.
They use Leo Tableau skill 3 and then you just Leo them again and they're like, oh, wait a minute.
I don't know where I saw that movie before. I think it was on a stream somewhere.
Netflix, I think. Netflix original.
Which movie?
Huh? Anyways, any other 2As that you guys kind of want to talk about? Maybe speculated 2As? I really want to see Drunken Masters, man. I love their kits, and I think they'd be dope. Yeah, it's true. I think they actually would be meta for a variety of content if they 2A Drunken Masters.
Minotaurs would be good, right?
Probably because their skill 1 is ignored.
Yeah, Minotaurs would be cool.
No, I'll be honest. If they just 2A Drunken Masters, at the very least, just 2A for better base stats, boom, they are actually decent. Right? The utility that they bring in, even in Guild Wars, is just insane. The heal, anti-crit, their S3s and their S1s ignoring defense is great. It's really nice.
I use the light one in Tartarus a lot.
Yeah.
No, they have interesting kits too, the Drunken Masters. They do.
Yeah, they do. Hellhounds. A lot of people said Hellhounds.
Yeah, Hellhounds would be amazing. I like it.
Didn't Jubagel come out with a video exposing like which is the next two
speculation, but I hope Hellhounds.
Oh
yeah, it's not.
They said like 100% is going to be the high elemental and something else.
Damn, high elementals though, they're not
2A
changing S2,
Priz.
dude. They're not changing the S2 of the high elementals. That's a big one, dude. Like that's a big buff, don't you
Oh,
think?
high
They're
elementals,
good.
so Kali and
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
because
Shren.
now you just give them more attack,
I
and
don't know
that's more
about that.
insane. That's already more insane. You don't have to change anything in there, just more attack.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Kali is already good.
Yeah.
That's the part that scares me the most.
Yeah,
What are their base speeds?
100, 90.
They're slow, right?
Yeah, they're not that fast.
102.
Oh, not bad.
That's okay.
that's
That's
low.
pretty good,
That's
actually. That's
low.
pretty good.
Turn 1 speed buffer, invincibility, and attack buff. I mean, that's kind of dope.
I mean, the ignore defense on any monster is pretty dope, you know?
Yeah, the light one, the water one, and the fire one all have that.
Try
all
one, put
have-
all those buffs on
yeah.
yourself and get one shot by Barbara. Sounds good.
Jokes on you, 100 rest Kali.
Oh, the Penguin Knights too.
Not with that speed.
Penguin Knights?
Man.
Yeah.
If you 2A the Penguin Knights, Josh is gonna be SWC champion. Let's be
he's
honest.
gonna use Mav, and he's gonna style on you. He's gonna get the tuxedo Mav and style on you all day.
He's gonna pick 5 Penguin Knights and beat you.
Okay, I
It's
don't
gonna
know
be
about
it's gonna hurt so much. Oh, he's gonna pick 4 Penguin Knights and a Barbara. Sorry.
that. True.
Cool.
All right, moving on to next topic here. So, talked about some of the 2As, bringing a light to some of the units like Vigor and stuff like that. You guys can build and try out, and definitely build your crows. All those standard units, Elucia, definitely really, really strong. Hoping we can see the next 2As sometime soon, every 4 months, they said. So, probably not gonna be another month or two until we hear anything about it, since they just released the Griffins, like what, 2 months ago? A month
Yeah.
ago?
Something like
2
that.
months.
Yeah.
About halfway until the next one gets released. Topic
I
number
want Charger
3.
Sharks.
That would be interesting. They're pretty much useless right now, Charger Sharks. So.
Yeah, all the people who built an Aquas to farm many, many years ago. Maybe
Yeah.
you get lucky.
True.
Didn't they come out with a picture, like, guess this monster? or
Yeah, it was the
something?
water
like, the
Charger
Shark
Sharks.
belt?
Belt.
Yeah.
What's
You
up with
guys ever
that?
wondered about something? So I'm reading chat and it says,
Sure.
the vagabonds, shouldn't they look more bummish instead of like knightly?
I think that's the irony of it.
Well,
What?
I don't get the irony.
That they're opposite of what they're supposed to be by name.
Yep, but why?
Why not? Things can't be like opposites.
You don't get the joke, Rune? Yeah, me neither. Anyways, topic number 3. Topic number 3. It's going to be about RTA, of course, buffs and nerfs, right? Topic 3 and 4 kind of intertwine, right? Buffs, nerfs. How's the state of RTA right now? Now that we're getting into the season, I think we're a month away from season ending ish, approximately is the estimate. How's the season going for you? And are we seeing the meta change and whatnot? Like, let's talk a little bit about the state of RTA. It's been a while since we talked about buffs and nerfs, to be honest, in the last couple of podcasts.
Everybody in the world has a Savannah.
I don't have one.
I don't have one.
I don't have one.
I don't have one either.
Oh,
Everybody at Q against us. Well, actually, then that means that nobody in this chat, nobody in this podcast has a Savannah.
Wow.
Everybody else does.
Oh, Thompson doesn't have a Savannah?
No, he does not.
I'm crying right now. It's not me laughing, by the way. That's me crying.
But yeah, Miho's gay, has AIDS. So I refuse to pick Miho. Like, no matter how good the comp is for me to use Miho, I don't use Miho.
Yeah, Miho is a really strong unit right now. I've seen a lot of players able to use that unit. It's pretty toxic. And they're able to use it in high level gameplay no matter what. It's crazy.
Yo, it was funny. I was RTAing on Patrick's account, right? And then we queued in against someone called like Jeff Bellado or something. I don't know who he is, all right? But then anyway, I was playing and I was talking to Patrick at the same time. And I was like, yo, like, does this person hate you? He goes on and pick like Miho, Empress, Tiana. I'm like, whoa, like, do you have does he have a grudge against you? Are you making enemies? Bro.
Needless to say, Thompson lost. And then
It's a pretty good win
No, I won.
condition,
I
to be
won that
honest.
I won.
Yeah.
There are a couple players out there who literally will just draft the most RNG units because they work. They honestly just work. They'll pick things like Miho, Diana, Antares, Verd,
It
Lauren,
doesn't
Fran,
matter,
and then a
right?
Triana.
Yo,
Right,
Patrick, you got some enemies, man.
aside from being outsped and getting one shot, like as the RTA, as long as you proc better, you're gonna win the game. Unless
Exactly.
only thing that stops procking better from winning is if you get outsped and right away you're down 1 or 2 units. Then you have a chance to then you're dead regardless. But if you pick any unit, if you proc better, you're gonna win, guaranteed every time. It doesn't matter what comp is facing what comp.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
wait,
lost to a guy where he was running 4 water units. I had 3, I think 4 fire units. I had like 3 water units, And I still lost like badly. You know,
Is one of them Leica?
Because the procs was like 9-1.
To check this out. So the funny
No, it
part
wasn't
was
Leica.
the funny part was I was showing the chat like, Patrick has enemies. The guy picks like, Diana, Miho, Antares. And then someone in the chat goes, of course they have to go Antares and Miho because they don't want you to pick it against Diana. So it all makes sense,
Yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
picking the
what was
counter
your
pick.
pick against that pick though? What was your pick on?
Oh, I think I was using Patrick's account, just like Ganny, Hathor, Sierra.
It doesn't matter what you pick, because as long as the other guy procs better, you lose. I'm telling you, it does not matter what you use. I've done testing enough, bro. Like, listen, I played a game yesterday, the procs again was 7-1. You know what I mean? Like, if the guy procs 7 times to 1, it doesn't matter who's fighting who. You're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying?
It feels so good when you win and they proc
you can't
more.
win if the guy procs 7 times and you go proc once. You can't. When you have 3 violent units and he has 2, you know what I'm saying? And he still gets you 7-1. You can't win that. Guaranteed.
It shouldn't happen that often, though. Technically.
Not to mention, no, you don't watch my stream enough, bro. But anyway, more importantly, aside from the 7 procs to 1, Tiana got 3 sleeps on Sierra. So it's like, how am I supposed to win that game? You know what I mean? But this is what I deal with everyday IQ, bro.
Yeah,
You've never seen shit like this, man. It's literally cursed my account. I'm positive. Like
we're talking about the state of RTA right now.
He's talking about procs and stuff. Yeah, it's true. I mean, they've definitely addressed the issues with like changing of the proc system. So I mean, like, I know you're getting unlucky. Then if it's really happening to you and it's happening very often, you're getting unlucky. But overall, the general public, that's the only thing that they can focus on, right? They can't.
I don't think, bro, that I've ever been at 12%. You know what I'm saying? In my life, I don't think I've ever been at 12%. Like, if you ask the guys that watch my stream, they'll tell you, like, I've never been at 12%. Like, it's never happened. I just don't proc. It's incredible. Like, something's wrong with the algorithm of my account. Something's wrong with it. I literally mean that. Like,
are you sure you're not using like 3 violent runes and 3?
Yeah. I check once in a while. Every so often, I go back and check because it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous.
You know that there's always someone that does that, especially during Siege. You're like,
yeah, I check all the time, bro, because it's just like sick.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Yeah, someone's complaining.
I can't even explain what happens to me.
No, what usually happens is, obviously there's like, bias, right? But obviously there will be the matches where you're like heavily on proc them. But technically what usually happens is that one side will proc a lot and it's all impactful procs. Whereas when you get procs, it's not impactful procs, unfortunately.
That's a very good point.
Which sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like aside from never procking, I never get that like key proc. Like where Yunhong could proc and heal and save the day. Like where Hathor could proc and sleep the whole team, but doesn't proc and then immunity's up again. You know what I'm saying? Like I never get that.
The only procs you get are the ones that are like Tiana proc out of immunity kind of procs, right? She S2s and it procs out. You're like, what the?
I'm the best at Sierra procking when there's 3-turn immunity up. I'm the master of Sierra.
Yeah, waste all of it, right?
Master, the god of procs, dude. My Sierra auto attacks all.
It's an interesting topic because we actually talked about this before too. With the changes of violent, procking changes 5% up and down on both sides. We've noticed that the games, technically, right, in majority of players' games, maybe not yours, majority of players' games, there are a more balanced amount of procs, but there are more procs because of it, right? Because it tries to trigger procs on both sides more. I feel like that's what's happening. So
that makes sense. That makes
right?
a lot of sense.
Doesn't that make a lot of sense? Like I feel there's more procs, but it's more even. I don't know.
The other side from
the procs are also more calculatable in a way where it's like, if I see like two units on violent, you can kind of guess like which unit's gonna proc, after you proc.
Yeah,
so like, if you're a Sierra user, you could decide which to drop the bomb on.
Like what I've noticed though is like when I use Velajewel and then someone's picking like a Hathor CC team, right? And they have a Verd, so the Verd goes twice, and then another one violence. Then Hathor gets her violent, but she sleeps the Vela. The Vela almost guaranteed, not guaranteed, like procs all the time, like my Vela, because it's like
Vela procs out of Hathor all the time, dude. And my Hathor, for some reason, can't land a skill 2 strip sleep. Thompson tell you that one.
So
but that's because it's elemental disadvantage.
If you are the person that believes in that juju, in that this unit always procs and stuff, then maybe you should also be the person that believes in what I always say, good vibes. Yeah, believe that it's not gonna happen because you're subconsciously kind of willing it to happen in your head. You know what's gonna happen, so you're putting it out there into the universe, right? So if you want to believe in that, I will say that.
I respect that. However,
yeah,
when the proof is in the pudding, you know what I mean? Like when it's all the time and it never changes. Like you, I don't care what your belief system is. You know what I'm saying? Like. I don't go to church enough, I guess. You know, I can't explain it.
The statistics, though, because like if the enemy team is procking and I have the Velojule, they proc 3 times already. My statistic of Velojule actually procking because his turn is next is much higher than something. Let's say
it's still not that high. It's like 27.
It's not that high, but a higher advantage is still a higher advantage, no matter what you say. Like
I have been playing with a max resist Velojule. It's really fun. It's like pretty cool.
Yeah, when you can resist the OT. And then those people want to throw the OTs against the wall every time.
If that violent balancing thing actually works, then like it actually puts an interesting take on like how you should build certain units. Like there's certain units you don't want violent procking anymore. You know what I mean? That steal away your chances to violent proc.
There are very few units that are worth putting on something that's not violent, though.
Yeah, like and
I agree with Tyler.
Like. Even a unit like Miho, like most people build their Mihos on Vampire, Violent Miho is still really, really good. And she has Vampire built in on her skill 120% damage, right? Like, the thing is, almost every unit you can build on Swift, you could also just build on Violent, right? Bastet. Some people have really good Violent Bastets. Bernard is really good on Violent crit damage, right? Yeah. Like, there are so many units that viably run Violent runes that it's very rare you're going to see people who, like, purposefully don't build good Violent units on Violent.
Like I don't think violent proc should be like 1-to-1, but they shouldn't be 7-to-1 either. You know what I mean? There should be another limiter on how many times you could proc before the guy doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't proc more than 3 times. The other guy doesn't proc. You know what I mean? Like
this is fun to talk about because we can all relate to the crazy on procness. But to a certain extent, I hope people in chat and people understand that everybody here understands that we're talking kind of bro science-ish as well, right? Because I mean, we all can agree that the rates are technically the rates, right? Or no? You actually think they are skewed? I'm actually serious. Like in the back of our head, we know that that's the rates, right?
No, my account's cursed. I don't believe it.
There's another factor to it as well, though. Like another big factor is like how many turns are you getting in comparison, right? How many turns are you getting that you can proc versus how many turns is the enemy getting that you can proc?
I don't believe in any of this math, bro. My account is cursed.
Well, no, like if you had Thor sleep somebody, for example, they literally can't proc. So like if they're complaining about not getting procs, doesn't really make sense because they're literally unable to proc.
Right, which is fine. And I understand that part, but that's not what I'm talking about. Like my account's cursed. You're missing the point.
Yeah, I've seen your account. Your account's pretty cursed.
Let's just talk about LDs. Okay, let's talk about everything. Let's talk about runes. Here, runes. 6 years, right? 5 years of rune packs. Never missed a re-app, right? Farm just as much as everybody else does.
Let's just talk about your event.
That's not a curse. Every person that I have no quad roll. It's not a curse.
Wait, your event rune didn't go good or went really bad?
Both my event runes, 18 speed.
Both my events runes 18 speed. Mine was
really.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you, I appreciate your sacrifice.
One of them is a speed slot too, but my
I got one.
One of them is a speed slot too, but my attack slot 6 Swift rune is 18 speed.
18. Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's useless. It's useless as well.
I wish you good luck and good vibes. Like I already knew it was 18 before I even pressed the button, bro.
Hey, Patrick, aren't you happy you didn't do a Swift rune for event?
I'm happy. I'm upset I did the event at all. I shouldn't have done it. I wasted all my time, bro.
Thompson,
I wasted all my time pressing the reroll button. Like I could have saved my time.
Last week I saw the screenshots. Yildi's Salsog got the 30 speed rune.
Oh my god, so good. Grab
Salrog?
Oh, man.
Did you guys see Berserk Dimension? Got a 30 speed Swift rune, attack slot 6.
Oh my god.
He has a Yanhong as well.
Did you see why? Because he has no quad roll.
Hands.
No quad roll, has 1 max triple after 6 years of playing.
All right,
IslandGrown got a really good one too, right?
That's my
20.
That's my
you're
first
29, right?
Count is cursed.
28. It's my first like actual good 28. Crit damage slot.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
I have 1 rune that's 29 grinded. That's my fastest rune in the whole account. One. The 1 max triple I have.
You have 29 that's grinded? What you re-apping? Purple runes? The fuck?
You know,
Damn, getting schooled by
Whoa.
IslandGrown, man.
Wait,
I'm telling
what you re-upping? You definitely unlucky then if you don't have anything that's over 29. That's crazy.
That's what Patrick started
me,
saying.
my
That's
fastest run
nuts.
is 24 ungrinded. I have 124 ungrinded.
Yeah, your chance to get a quadrille is extremely low. Like,
Yeah.
How-
but
how
my
many-
chance
yeah,
to
I
try
know, I
another
know, I
asshole
know.
to have
But
sex with
also-
them.
but how many quadrilles do you guys have?
I
Yeah.
actually have a lot of quadrilles, but not
Speed. How many quadrilles
not-
speed do you
not,
have?
not speed though. I have 4.
I have 1,
I have 1, and I just
Yeah,
got
and
it.
mine's 26.
Thompson has like
28.
27.
Hey, don't expose me, bro.
That's
Thompson
a
has like
lot.
27 of them. All right, so let's get back to reality now.
That's a
More
lot.
important, listen.
I
the
do have a
game
lot
is,
of
like,
attack
cursed.
percent.
End of
quadrilles,
story.
though.
Yeah.
There's no
Some
way
people,
to
some people are just really lucky.
right
Some people
outside
aren't.
of runes now, right? You want to talk about LDs, right? I've summoned just as many LDs as most of the top people you could think of over the
He
years.
does. He does.
I have 2 LD Nat 5s. 2. The one was free from the world boss.
Hey, all
Do
you
you,
need
do you
is
have
Yamaha,
any
man.
idea?
That's the
Do you have
only
any
one you
idea
need.
how many you've done? Like, do you have a rough estimate?
Thousands.
Like,
Thousands.
we're talking like 4,000, 5,000.
Easy.
Hey, Tyler.
That's a lot.
Patrick is a whale. Like,
Oh, I know,
you're
I know,
good.
I know,
Like,
I know. I
got-
just-
you're
I
good.
want-
Like, just
I want
like-
a rough- I want a rough estimate on,
how
like,
many
how
LDs,
unlucky
like
you are.
like feasibly, not
Oh,
not
because you don't have one yet. You're like,
Yeah, I
when
also
are
don't
you
have
gonna
one.
get my one?
yeah, like how many thousands? of
When did you
LDs
get your
though?
first one, Patrick? That's all I need to know.
I got my first one. Yun Hong was
Was it like 1,000 scrolls? Was it like 2,000 scrolls?
more than that. It was a free scroll from World Boss.
All right,
It
I'm
was-
screwed,
it was
guys. I'm never
like-
getting one.
It's probably almost 2,000. Probably around 2,000, like Yun Hong.
Now,
All right, I'm a quarter of the way there, guys. 1/4 of the way there.
I'm
compare that to
definitely
Thompson.
over the years. Like I'm definitely over like 4,000 or 5,000, like in that area easily.
How many scrolls have Thompson summoned in compared to the Nat 5?
Thompson's free to play,
counts?
bro.
What?
Who
Thompson's free to play.
counts?
Yeah, who
You?
counts? Once you
I
get to
count.
5
Who
digits, who counts?
I do.
When you get rewards, you don't count, bro. When you get nothing, you count. See, I count. I get nothing.
I count.
I mean, I don't whale as heavy as you guys with LDs, but I mean, just factoring all the free ones and how much you get in some of the packs that have the LDs and
Yeah.
whatnot. I mean, I only have 1. I've been playing. Maybe playing longer than you guys. So
You've
I
been
mean,
playing longer than me, for
technically,
sure.
I'm definitely up there and only 1. I mean, Julian's great, right? But that's the only one I have, and I used to buy a lot of LD scrolls back in the day, right when they were
Julian
at
needs
turbo
the
value.
buff, right?
I thought you had
So-
3.
Julian's pretty cool.
No, I only have Julian.
He's a
That's
pretty
it.
cool unit.
So
You
technically,
don't
I'm
think Julian needs a buff? I think Julian needs a buff.
But back to the important part of the topic. I'm
Okay.
cursed.
Sorry. Oh, the important part is your curse. I remember.
Yeah, I'm cursed. I challenge anybody. And people are like, oh, I tell you, people always look at my comment like, oh, why? Because, oh, you're so lucky. You have all these elemental Nat 5s. Your Pokédex is almost complete. I told you, I tell everybody, I didn't summon those. I bought them. You see, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Summoning is like you summon 200, you get one. Buying them is you just keep pumping until you get something.
Some people just
Yeah.
get really lucky with like the good.
Yeah, my
elemental
account is
Nat
Yeah,
five.
some people get lucky though.
I mean it. Like I don't make things up. Like I spit facts. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very factual. If you ask me how much I spent, I could tell you. Like I don't make nonsense up.
Yeah,
you know?
but I will say one thing though. You
know,
have to
but
say it's true as well. I mean, you say your account's unlucky, but I mean the rates that I got in the last probably couple thousand scrolls from LDs and whatnot have been pretty good. LD lightning rates and Nat 5 rates on your account that I've gotten for you. We've done a couple sessions already. Remember that we summoned?
Yeah, I remember I think that.
Yeah, a
The
couple,
two
last time was like what 300, 200 scrolls were like 4 Nat 5s, and then LD's always good lightnings, but never the Nat 5s. Like I'm talking like sometimes double the lightning rates, but we never get you an LD Nat 5.
Really good session for me with 17.
Yeah.
We got 5 lightnings.
That was nuts. But where's the
Last
Nat 5?
time-
Yeah.
Yeah, last time we were like right above average, and then in person in Orlando we were right at average.
Yeah.
And then in New York, I let everybody at New York meet up, like all the fans, like do my summit. I was above average in New York too.
Yeah.
You guys see this guy in chat? He says some people get all the luck. Sigh. His name is Ken Baller.
Oh,
What a guy! What a guy to say that to the rest of us.
Yeah.
I remember Ken Ballas. Was this his first one when he got Pater?
He was still in my guild when he pulled Pater.
Yeah. So
And you know-
I
you know-
summoned
yeah.
Arda, and I'm like, "Yo, Ken, you should summon right now in the channel." And he summoned it, and he got Patered right there.
Yep.
Like-
And then,
like-
and like a month later, he gets a ragdoll.
Yeah, like people ask me, they go like, "Oh, does it get you mad that people buy these high-end accounts?" And I said, honestly, it doesn't get me mad that people buy high-end accounts because when you buy an account, you're kind of keeping the game in motion, right? When I get mad when people like get massive shit for nothing, that gets me mad. Like literally, like I'm not envious of like spending and not spending, but like people that don't spend and they have more of like certain things than I do, I get mad, dude. Like that pisses me off, honestly. People can buy a $40,000 account. Listen, you paid $40,000 for it. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? But like, bro, if you get shit and you're free to play, like I fucking go nuts, dude. Like that really angers me. Like all joking aside,
There's actually a lot of people.
like I'm not mad at free to play guys. You know what I'm saying? But if a free to play guy has like 4 LD Nat 5s, it's like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And I've seen it. You know, I know people personally. You know, that have that situation going for them. You know, but that makes me nuts, dude.
It happens.
I don't hate the person. You know what I'm saying? I hate the theory behind it. You know what I mean? Like, it's sick that you could get so much shit for nothing.
So when that brand new account, he's like, "Oh, guys, I got my fame on LD scroll. It's a Tiana." You're like, "I hate you so much. I hate you so much."
Well, that doesn't matter to me too much either. But like, I'm talking about like people just get them like good ones and constantly. You know, like it's insane because in 1 month I summon more LDs than somebody does in 6 years of their career. You know what I mean? So it's like really like I have.
But the thing is that like
a million more chances. You know what I mean?
All right, there's a couple factors, right? It could be a factor like we're saying. You're unlucky, right? You're getting unlucky. But the thing is that, let's say even if you buy 500 scrolls right now and you don't get an LD Nat 5 and you're seeing other people get it, you will always see somebody get it. Because even though you have a sample size of 500 scrolls, we're talking tens of thousands of people summoning 1 LD scroll each for an LD Nat 5. There's always going to be an LD Nat 5 out there. So in terms of the hindsight, I think it sucks that you don't get LD Nat 5s. But the reason why you see it is because the CompToS is giving so many LD scrolls out.
You know what I'm right? Like I'm on those Facebook like Summoners War groups, right? And then like I was skipping through the other day, and I see this girl post. She goes, "Oh, my second event rune rolled quad also." Like, oh, okay, no problem.
I mean, that's
like,
gonna happen a lot though. Yeah, since there's it's a what is it, a 1 in 4 chance to get
Thompson,
speed?
are you muted?
Thompson 1 in 16, yeah.
Yeah, so 1 in 4 chance to get speed, 1 in 16 to get double speed, and because there's 2 runes, it's 1 in 8. So every 1 in 8 people you see should have a quad speed rune from this event.
I actually think that's even less because I honestly believe, like, in terms of the actual, because we don't know the actual rates of what rolls into
I mean, that's just assuming that it's 1 out of 4, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say
I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
There's actually a lot less to actually roll into versus resistance versus accuracy versus flat stat, right? Because I actually believe that flat resistance accuracy has a higher chance to roll.
One moment, I'm gonna go get my tinfoil hat. Give me a second.
I don't think so.
It's 1 out of 4, but you know we don't know for sure. This is what you're saying.
We don't actually have the actual stats for it because unlike summon rates, we do have the numbers. We do have like it's 0.05% chance to get an LD Nat 5.
There might be the facts though. Like if you check up Optimizer, the bestiary or whatever the thing is that like has all the people's downloaded data, it might have that statistic in there. That's where I got the statistic that Violent is the lowest drop rate in Dragons because they took all that sample size and that's how we figured that out, right? So they might have it in there for rune power-ups, but I'm not sure if that's a piece of data that they have. Right?
And also, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the theory before, but like in computing, right? RNG is not actually true RNG.
Right. True.
Yeah. So like instead of like it's all computations, right? It's not like like in physics where like something random is actually random.
Random occurrence.
In RNG and computing is like it has to be a set
There's
amount.
not one person that's played my account that has said my account is not cursed. So just that alone gives me very high insight that my account is cursed.
Yeah, like
there's not one person. Make
like
it a Bud Team New York can play it, cursed. Fwa came to play it, cursed. Thompson played it, cursed. Listen, everybody knows this is a cursed account.
Like
in hindsight, I would have changed it in hindsight.
Things actually do like occur in actually like groupings because of RNG. Like it like you could have like a big sample size, but it's always random for those sample. But then technically all the stuff that happens in the actual sample size occurs in one area. But if you want to look at the computing in general, the entire pool, the numbers still add up, even if like everything goes to one person and then the rest of the thousands of whatever chances happen to no one else. With the math still works.
I know what you're saying.
Because the numbers still work out.
Okay, so let's get this straight though. There is a slight tinfoil hat that's all on all our heads right now. Before we say anything else, okay? Because I would like to say some stuff. There is a slight tinfoil hat on all of our heads. So does that mean that technically, when you do mass summon sessions, you should have a better chance of getting Nat 5s? Because the data and the amount of summons you're doing in a cluster could be, better or worse. I don't know. Right? That can make a difference as well then. Technically, if what you're saying is true.
It would make no difference based on what he's saying.
Why is that? Because if you cluster things at a certain time frame, it'll be better than spreading it out. If there is some kind of mathematical
There's no difference between those two things. They're exactly the same thing. Clustering them, you're basically just taking an instance. You're taking one attempt at something, and it's just how many times. Like, do I want to do that now or do I want to do it later? It makes literally no difference.
No. I what you're explaining to me, I understand. That's why I just said before we say anything, I have a tinfoil hat on. That's what I'm saying. It's not like I don't understand what you're saying, but I'm saying it is possible now, right? Because I see so many times.
It's possible assuming what
Ryu's
Rune's saying is wrong, but what Ryu's saying is true. So we can't really tinfoil hat that one, right?
True, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is there are time gates, dude. I swear. They say there's no time gates, but I swear there's time gates, dude.
I think people misview time gates. They look at time gates as like the best chance to get a Nat 5. It's more like there are so many instances that we see it more.
My
it's just a
definition
viewing
of
party.
a time gate is a glitch where you summon 2 of the same 4s, 2 of the same 5s, 2 of the same something. I've seen that many times, and I think that's it's a system.
I don't believe that's actually
I don't think there's a time gate on the same monsters. There's definitely a time gate on pulling Nat 5s though.
Okay, now he just said the opposite then, Tyler.
Because all day long, you sit there, right? There's people summoning. Hypothetically, there's people summoning all day long, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they always come together. Only you'll never see like one dragon and never see one again. You know, like
I don't know.
Okay, so the fallacy in that is when somebody summons a Nat 5, the rest of the people think that, so they're going to go summon.
Have you guys done this? Have you guys done this? Like earlier in the morning at like 7 a.m. you'll summon and you'll get like a combination of Garo Asasis, and then later on that day, like at 2 p.m. you summon again and you get Garo Asasis. That happened to me like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, what happened?
Is it okay now? Sorry.
Yeah.
We see your browser.
No, it's fixed, right? No, it's just the song browser. I had to adjust something.
Oh, we're good.
We're good?
Was it porn?
No. That was the music thing. I just opened up the browser.
Damn it, missing out.
Not banned. Hog.
Nude Thompson.
But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I like this topic. I mean, this is things that we always think about, but we are unsure if it happens or not. These are things that people believe, but obviously in the back of our heads we know like it's not true, right?
I mean, as much of a believer I am in the time gate thing, like I also could be just as much of a non-believer because I'm the kind of guy that will summon when that starts happening. I still get nothing, so then it's kind of like, I guess it's not true, right? Because I do that too. I summon people starting Nat 5s, but there's been times where I've hit them and there's times where I haven't. So I don't know. I gotta play somebody else's account and figure it out.
It's just like time gate is literally just a viewing party per se, right? When someone summons an F5, it triggers this event of reactions where everyone else is like, "Oh, if I summon now, maybe I'll get one," and then enough people summon that one will show up. It's just like how it is, right? The more you input into something, eventually it's.
If you ever see me pull a Nat 5 in chat, it's time to start summoning, bro. Because if the unluckiest guy got something, you guys will be on fire.
No, it's only when you get a non-dupe.
If I get an F5, you guys better pull you guys probably get 6 in one session if I get one.
Is that how it works?
It gotta be, bro.
All right. So when you pull a Savannah, you're gonna add everyone, right? So we all know to start summoning.
Yeah, I'll just call everybody.
Private message.
Yeah, I'll just call everybody online.
Just start selling it. Start selling it. Be like, all right.
Call. Like, let's do it.
When I pull my Savannah, guys, $100 and I'll call you right now. $1,000, I'll call you right now. You can pull your release first.
It's sick that the amount it takes.
Savannah and Barbara are the 2 most wanted ones right now.
For everybody or just for you?
For everyone, but
I want Savannah still more than I want Savannah.
It depends on your rune level. Hey, we got 10 hats.
We'll take some questions from the chat.
Not Brian, because Brian has Barbara.
We got 10 hats.
And as much as Patrick says, he has 2 Beast Riders right now, so he has the most Beast Riders out of all of us.
Wait, your microphone is super low again, dude.
Mine?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, you sound like really, really deep. Like, whoa.
Oh, I did notice that. I just didn't actually.
Patrick may or may not have invested a lot more into getting the Beast Riders.
Is it low or is it high?
It's good.
You're good now.
Normal.
Cool. Yeah. What's up?
I said Patrick may have invested a lot more than the rest of you on trying to get Beast Riders.
Oh,
too.
I don't know about that, but you do have 2. Yeah.
Wait, Tyler, you would rather have a Tyrannus versus Beast Rider?
Versus
right
Savannah,
now, like right now.
It really depends on your runes. Like if you don't have the rune power, like Savannah,
I have a Barbara. It depends on your playstyle. I think it's playstyle difference.
So we all have Barbara except for Ryujin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Must be a height restriction on getting it.
It's just like Barbara's for everybody except for Ryujin. That height restriction.
Well, after what happened with my event with my my 6th anniversary runes, like getting Barbara was just like the saving grace to 6th anniversary because I was so upset that I thought about just like not playing the game for like a couple weeks.
I guess you got to be 5 feet tall to get Barbara.
Yo, Patrick didn't roll. Like Patrick stayed at 18 speed, and he was okay. He's like, I figured this will happen.
At least I'm not 5 foot wide.
No, the 6th anniversary packs, the first packs, those guaranteed legends.
Yeah.
I got 6 flat attack runes and 2 runes that were garbage.
Oh, rip. And then the scroll got you Barbara. Nice.
So it was all okay in the end. But I didn't get a single 8 legend runes. I didn't get a single react target. I didn't get a single rune that could have rolled well.
Maybe next week we're all gonna say we got all the string masters. Who knows?
That's
or
true.
like the ink masters. Yeah, there you go.
Next week I will have all the string masters. Ink masters, I don't know. String masters, I will have. Guaranteed.
Are they all gonna be skilled though? Is the question.
They will probably be skilled. Yes.
Dang, Patrick.
Would the Dark Ink Master's ink be dark, or would their ink be the color of their color?
Of their element?
Will you even see ink?
We'll see ink on the end of their paintbrush, I think.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be color. That ink will definitely be the color of their element.
So any more tinfoil discussions here? Like I feel like I'll state my opinion. I think the rates are the rates, right? They are what they're listed, no matter how we feel, no matter what we think, no matter what kind of bro science we throw. Because if we throw any bro science, we're probably the same people that, it's similar to people in Vegas that, say like all that random crap about when you're in Vegas, they rig things, which probably does happen, but I don't know, man. I don't think it does.
Slot machines are actually rigged.
Are they? I didn't know that. That's why I said it. Tell me about it.
They will never give, like, let's say like someone who wins a jackpot, the next day, same machine will never give out the same jackpot because they have to. It's in terms of how they make money, right?
Yes, right. Actually, the actual system like that in Vegas and in Atlantic City, big casino areas like that, they're not allowed to reset the system. So whenever the jackpot hits, it has to hit.
Yeah.
That's why people always say when you're on a cruise ship, don't play the slots, because on the slots, once you're in international waters, there's no more regulations on their slot rules. So you'll never ever see anybody hit a jackpot on a slot machine in a cruise ship.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
You'll always see one in a casino because the casinos aren't allowed to reset. Like they have to hit. Like if it's like 1,355,000th roll, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. They can't change that.
That's kind of like the Asian
They've collected enough to be able to pay that out without losing, because the casino's not going to give you a jackpot and close down. You know what I mean?
Wait, that's not a good comparison though with Summoner's War or any mobile game to gambling, because like casinos have more of an incentive to like debate you because they can lose money, right?
You know the claw machines, the claw grabbing animal things.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. When it gets a certain amount of money, the claws get mad strong. You never noticed that? Like
that's known though. That's a known thing. Everybody knows that, right?
Once it gets enough money, it's like the fucking it can grab a human being. Like it goes like this, right? It goes from like grazing the stuffed animal, and all of a sudden like the stuffed animal's like crushed. You know what I'm saying? You put enough money and it's strong. It's strong.
Yeah,
bro.
and everyone's always like, oh, it's just an old faulty machine. Don't worry about it. Like, no, it's a fucking scam, dude.
No, you know how to fix it, right? If you just fix it by playing it again.
That's it. Brings his girlfriend over and is like, "You're mad good at this game." Like, no, you just got lucky. You were the 84th person to put $1 in. You know what I mean?
I think in certain places they're not though. Like, there's a couple. I think there's a couple places in Korea where they're like not allowed to do that at all.
You can set.
I wouldn't say there's not laws against it, but I'm saying like all the promises you play here, bro. Yeah, they got little. They don't
have regulations for that in North America.
No, in the machine, there's actually a setting where you could set when to pay out. It's actually like you can look it up. There's actually like, every single machine. There's a payout.
For a slot machine or for the claw game? Now I'm confused.
Arcade game.
For slot machine.
Push the key through the lock game. All that stuff, bro. Like, you think your aim is really off by that 1/4 of an inch every time you put the key in the hole? When it gets enough money, the key goes right in the hole if you miss.
So I'll tell you exactly how the like Vegas slot machine works, right? So they need to collect a certain amount of money. Let's say like this set of machines, they have a jackpot of $1 million, right? Like casino has like a percentage of how much they need to make, like a house advantage. That's what it's called. Like usually like different games has different house advantage. But, like the closest one to like 50-50 is Baccarat. But like slot machines is like 10%. So basically you need to
slot machines number one moneymaker. One moneymaker.
If it's, let's say the jackpot's $1 million, right? They need to make at least $1 million plus 10%, and then the jackpot will have an option to
Right.
pay
Like I
out.
said, they'll never pay you a jackpot and have to close down in return. You know, like they're giving you $1 million, they made $2 million off you first. You know what I mean? So it's always going to be like that. So every claw game, every arcade game, they all have the algorithms are set. Like when it's time to release something. You know, those machines that have like the LV bags and the iPads and stuff in them. Like when the time comes, the time comes. It don't matter how fast you stop the light. You think you really can't stop the light when it's blue? Like you really think you're retarded? You can't time it. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's not meant to be.
I don't know if like I said, Las Vegas and casinos are the best comparison to Summoners War, right?
You're right. You're right.
You're putting money in Vegas, you can win their money back.
It's the concept, though. The concept is he's talking about the theory. He's not talking about the actual return or practice of it, which is why it's like an applicable.
No, but
comparison.
it's different because of the incentivized, right? For Summoners War, you're putting in money. They already have your money. There's no incentive to to do anything really, right? I mean, I would say a better comparison maybe to Summoners War. Maybe casinos is not the best comparison, but something that Thompson might be used to as well is I think Summoners War is comparable to trading cards, buying packs. Yeah. That's probably the best comparison. Right, you could actually be the guy that buys Magic packs or Yu-Gi-Oh packs and never get the fucking good card that you need for the deck or whatnot. Like I actually think that's possible, right?
Look,
that's
I know
a better
lot
comparison.
about the casino stuff because I gamble a lot.
Well, we're all here for a reason, right?
I had Ryujin money. I gamble a lot too. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, I love gambling. I wish I could go back to the casino. It's just.
Oh my God, Ryujin!
I have a lot of online games if you want Ryujin. By the way,
no, I don't like. I actually
ruin his life.
Okay.
Well, yeah, don't ruin my life. I actually like playing on. I like touching the cards. I like touching the chips. I just like touching things.
What?
I understand that with like the poker feel. Like playing with poker chips and also like holding the cards is very different than playing online.
I kind of like this discussion because it's controversial.
Do you want another tinfoil hat?
Yeah, no, I do because I like these controversial topics that people think about but never talk about. Let's talk about it here. Let's bring this up. I like this. Go ahead. Tinfoil
hat 1 and 2. Okay. 1. Innate resist works differently than we think it is. The first tinfoil hat is that it's not actually 15%, and the second tinfoil hat is that units with resist awakenings have a higher innate resist chance. And this is totally because I miss my Hathor skill 2 sleep on Oberon every single time.
And number 3, if you like that and you pick resistance lead, the other team gets it.
Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst. You pick resistance lead, and the enemy just resists you.
Yeah, the other team gets it. Yeah.
What if the match just becomes resistance now because there's a resistance leader chosen? So both
it's global resistance lead. It's not just for you. It's for everybody.
I like that thought though. Units that awaken to resistance maybe have a different coding that make them resist more. That could be true. So Grogan is OP then. Confirm.
The only resisting I've ever seen work, I swear, the only resisting I've ever seen work as like very consistently was when Thompson's friend was 100 resist. That was the only time I became like a partial believer, and then I started picking resist lead on my account again, and then I gave up on believing. It's sick. Like Thompson's friend, like it literally it worked like 10 games in a row when I was playing it. Like 10 games in a row it worked. Like I tried on my account, didn't work, so I gave up on believing.
You got to keep believing, bro.
Because listen, I've had Yunhong lead for a long time, so like I have a lot of tests with resist lead up. You know what I mean? And it just sucks.
I mean, there's also the reasonable logic, which is you're using the lead, so you're looking for it more and hoping that everything resists or everything lands, which is a factor technically on the more logical side, right? Because you're looking at it when you're using the leads.
So the resistance and accuracy value, like the math works, right? Where when you cap that 15%. So what going back to what Tyler said, you ever notice the water golem has a innate resistance and has a passive that increases its resistance? Have you ever noticed that even though you're max accuracy, there's a higher chance to resist against that specific monster?
Oh, because it has a passive as well?
Because the passive is pushing its instead of like you're capped at 100% resist, right?
Right,
so
right,
the
right.
passive pushes over, so it's actually not 100%, because 100% just means like it's capped at 100, but there actually is like maybe 150% because it pushes that over. So now that you're at 85, it's now instead of 15%, it'll be at 45%.
I like this tinfoil.
Actually, I don't think that's true, because a lot of times I know that Savannah on the other team is just at 25 resistance and it resists everything. right?
No. He's saying something different. He's saying something different.
The passive actually pushes above the cap because
You mean
technically there's no
40?
cap. Well, I don't remember the exact.
So what he's saying is
No, I
that
meant for Savannah, because Savannah awakens into resist, right?
no, but he's not the awakening
Yeah,
because when you
yeah,
it's 40.
awaken, no,
Right?
because when you
Yeah,
awaken,
so it'd be 40. It'd be 40 because you have base 15.
right. But when you awaken, you get the stats in the wording, right? Like it says that much more resistance on your unit, correct? Right? When you awaken, he's saying that because it's a passive, it goes beyond that of what the wording is. So even if you have 100 resist, he's saying that because it's a passive, it actually makes you 150 resist or something potentially. And it's only possible with units to resist. This can be tested with Fire Monkey King. I need somebody to build it, put some good runes, and make it like over 70% resist.
I tried putting Fire Monkey King even on 50 resistance.
No,
it's so hard.
You don't.
With-
You're not 50. Put it at like 100 and make the passive stack over the 100 and see if
just
it's
even harder.
That's what we're saying.
Just for testing purposes.
Yeah, for testing purposes to see if maybe the system actually has it go higher. The passive makes it go more than 100.
So
right?
I have to ask a podcast question for Fwa, as I promised I would bring it up.
Sure.
Do
I don't
you
like
think the
Calibrio.
game-
Oh, what?
Do you think the game would be more fun if they reduced armor break?
Oh, somebody just brought up this topic, didn't they? On like Tuesday, like changing the
Armor
defense
break
break.
is the only thing that has 70% reduction.
Right.
Everything else is half reduction or less. Armor break is 70%. That's why like anything armor broken can be one shot. You know what I mean? Which is kind of crazy. You know, like if it was dropped to 50, would it be like a more balanced game or a more fun game?
It would devalue a lot of units, but I think that it would change the gameplay.
Or move everything to that extreme amount. You know what I mean? Like since defense break is 70, then attack break should be 70. You know?
The only issue is you have to be careful because the battles might be too long. You know what I mean? It might be too boring.
The defense buff is 70%.
Yeah, in matches.
So it matches. The defense buff is 70%. Defense break is 70%.
It's funny, they nerfed that in Epic 7 early on in the game. They nerfed the defense buff to like 56 or something like that. Because it was too strong.
So much power, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, defense buff and defense break is pretty powerful.
There's a lot of power too. Don't get me wrong. Defense break.
Defense buff is not that powerful, you guys. Don't overhype defense buff, please.
Yeah. Because if you want to look at the defense stat,
defense
right?
buff is very powerful.
The defense buff. Defense buff is actually like
in RTA.
It's capped at a certain point. You will never reach like for every point of defense you gain past a certain point, the value is like it's not exponentially. It's what's that?
Logarithmically.
Yeah, logarithmically goes down by a lot, as opposed to like if you have 0 and you gain 100 defense, what you gain from 0 to 100 is exponentially higher versus when you're at 3,000 and you gain another.
The comparison is when you look at a unit that has like 50% ignore defense versus a unit that has 100 versus a unit that has like 75. Like when you start mapping those like quarterly points, you see a huge difference in damage.
Sorry, diminishing returns. Yeah. So because like how defense works is like it reduces the damage, right? It always reaches closer to 100%, which is basically you take no damage. The closer you are to 100%, the less you gain for each point of defense you gain. So it's like you'll never reach 100%. You get to like 999.999% infinitely,
right?
But you'll never get there. As opposed to like very like 0 to 100, 0 to 200, 0 to 500, you gain like 50% damage reduction.
Right. It's the damage reduction because you can't reduce 100 technically. I see.
So that's why defense break is a lot more valuable because you just turn that value just like shot straight down and you have like almost at 0 damage and you increase the damage taken by like 70%, 80%.
Right.
Versus
that's why defense break is like ridiculous. It's honestly a ridiculous amount that it does.
I never thought about it like that. Wait, my mind is just actually blown right now. I never thought about
defense break. Defense break does more damage than ignore defense in most cases because the units that get ignore defense have scaled back the damage they can output for that reason, right? But like compare like defense break and then debuff scaling. So like if you have a Nefthi Zamir offense, it's gonna be ridiculous compared to most things, right? Because
so
you do so much damage.
Going back to what Thompson said about defense buff, it is technically shitty because like when you get a defense buff, you're only gaining like maybe at most 10% damage reduction versus defense break, you increase the damage by 80%. That's a number. That's not the exact number, but just saying.
Yeah.
Like,
no, defense buff is strong. Regardless, it's still strong, but it's not. You can't compare it to the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's extra strong because like units that use defense scaling damage get they get huge benefits, right?
Name me a few defense scaling monsters that are good. You know, like
Amelia?
Bulldozer, good.
Oh, you're talking about defense buffers or scaling?
Huh?
You know what defense best is?
Belligeul is really good defense scaling.
It's
Defense
okay.
buff is really good to counter defense break. Yep.
Mm.
It is because it nullifies it, right? It becomes
Yeah,
nullified.
nullifies
It's
nullifies
zero.
The other difference is that when you look at buffs versus like debuffs have RNG. Buffs are guaranteed.
Yeah, so that's why defense buff is good. But like what Rune is saying, right? The more defense you get, there's gonna be diminishing returns. So I think what were you saying, Thompson, about like defense buff is maybe not that strong in RTA? I think it is strong, right? Because oftentimes people don't ruin their units on defense. So getting that 0 to whatever amount of defense from the buff is pretty beneficial.
It's
right?
decent, but there's not enough like good defense monsters to make defense buff like so good.
Like I feel like
as a Laura
Tyrannies is really good
user,
because
I
of
know.
defense. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, my bad. What were you saying? Sorry.
I lost my train of thought too. But no,
There's
like,
not a lot of good defense.
I've been testing a
units,
lot
so to
of
say.
defense monsters because I've been using Laura, and as a Laura user, I know that there's not a lot of crazy good units with like defensive units deal damage in RTA, you know. And I'm just talking about RTA. I'm not
Yeah,
talking
but to be
about,
fair, you're also not running like real defense damage dealers. You know what I mean? Like Veligul does good damage with defense buff, but it's not really a damage dealer. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So you
Yeah,
can't
his
say,
big damage comes from the dots.
Yeah, you can't say that. You know, you haven't because you're not really using any damage burster. You know what I mean to compare it with. That's the
No, I
thing.
tried all types of damage dealers from like
Okay, so I'll give you
Aurelio
real quick.
Bulldozer.
So you're telling me
Ramahan.
Tyrannies, Thompson, you're telling me Tyrannies when he has defense buff and skill 2s versus when he doesn't have defense buff and skill 2s, there's no difference?
There's
There's a big difference. It's almost double.
Self buff, yeah.
See, but the
Well,
reason. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Richard. Go ahead.
Because his passive in dog form gains.
Right, and the bear form is increased that, of course, yeah.
But that's the biggest part though. That's it. The defense buff definitely helps for sure, but the biggest buff is like because
Yes,
the
of
25%
course.
also technically buffs the defense buff, increases that damage.
So
I
the
don't
reason why
disagree.
I think defense buff is strong is not because it like you're thinking, Thompson, the train of thought of using it with defense type units, right? Accentuating the buff with you. I'm saying I think defense buff is really strong because it makes all your units like with Regents reduces the damage that they take by a significant amount, right? So that's what makes
I'm
it
not
so
saying
strong.
defense buff is not strong. I just feel like there's immunity, there's attack buff. Defense buff seems like the worst out of like a lot of buffs there are, right? Like immunity.
Really? I think anti-crit's the worst.
Buff. Huh?
I think anti-crit's the worst
I
buff.
think
Oh, I think
glancing
it's
is
pretty
the
bad.
biggest scam in the game, bro.
I think what is it? The Fire Paladin's buff is the worst.
Threat state.
They're all
pretty good.
well, okay. So threat state still gives guarantee compared to anti-crit, right? Because
Oh,
threat state gives you reduced
When I
damage now
glance
too.
something- Ooh, when I glance something to get extra accuracy on me, bro. Extra crit rate.
Glancing is actually really good.
Glancing wins me
Shield
so
is
many
good.
games.
Amazing.
For the other guy.
So if you glance, well, I don't think a lot of people know if
Yo,
you
I got Yun Hong every
We
game. I
talked
glance
about this last time,
every
Billy.
game, bro.
if your monster has glancing and you're hitting someone of the opposite element, you're always gonna glance 100% because
Like you see Patty Store, right? I just like glance is pretty nice against Diana, right? You know what happens when I glance at Diana? It goes, it doesn't crit every time, but then it violent procs every time.
Okay, but that doesn't make glancing bad.
Yeah,
That just means that he violent procced.
I mean, that also means that you're versing somebody Papega. I don't know who the
I-
fuck changes forms with Diana with glancing. Like, they must be desperate.
Sometimes
That means
you
you're
have to.
beating them. That means you're beating them if they have to make that decision,
dude.
right?
I'm gonna save you guys some replays, man. I
Yeah.
got some good stuff for you guys.
Because if your opponent is changing forms and with glancing on Diana, they're in a
No.
losing position and they're trying to
They
make something
see-
happen.
They see the name Y Kazama on the other side, they can do whatever they want, they're gonna win. Once see that name, they switch forms with Antera standing there. They don't care. They know the deal. Nothing's gonna happen to them.
So, Brian, how come you think like defense buff is really good?
I think it's just because when you have it on your team, it makes it tougher for your opponent to
tanky,
kill
yeah.
you. You know, it makes you tanky. That's why Tyrannies' kit is so strong. And with Tyrannies on the field, like, I mean, I don't know what you're running. You could just run it with anything. I'm just assuming whatever draft, right? The defense buff really prevents your opponent from killing you. That's the nice thing.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I don't know. There's
I
like
think of it as damage reduction, right? More than anything.
A lot of the time we see defense buff, we see a defense buff with immunity. So a lot of the time it's a lot more difficult to deal with the defense buff, which is why it feels so strong, right? Like what you're saying is true. There is a good counter to it. Defense break is a really good counter to it. Strip is a good counter to it, but having to have both is a pain. And if you miss the strip, then you've just fucked yourself royally.
But then like there's a lot of stuff in this game like Fran's heal based on attack, right? So like it really makes attack buff really good. But then like there's nothing like that with defense, really.
So maybe
You know?
your argument is more of units that will work well with defense buff and units that defense buff should be better.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think there needs to be better units than that. Right now we
I
have
think
Tyrannies and Amelia, but
I think there's not
agree with
enough
that, yeah.
like I think there's not enough like defense scaling units, like impactful defense scaling units. You know?
But I think the buff itself for the damage reduction is big. That's why
Of course.
I like it. And
Some
that's
buff
why
is
I
better
hate
than no
fighting
buff,
it. I
but-
hate fighting it as well. When they get defense buff, you just feel so shitty. Like you're like, I am not killing anything right now. Unless you specifically brought something in, like a Daphnis or something that can go through defense buff, right? But it's
I think
really
I also
annoying.
know what like Thompson's saying too, but if you look at a lot of like defense units, right? Defensive units that do damage or they use defense as their main primary stat, one defense break completely nullifies.
Yeah.
It. As opposed to like let's say like attack unit, Garrow or something, right? Like putting attack break on them doesn't hurt them that much. It
Right.
does reduce their damage, but it doesn't kill them. As opposed to like a defense monster with defense breaks can't
Yes.
do damage, instantly dies.
Thank you,
Like-
Ryujin. And there's so much like there's
That's
so many like Laurens and
You caught him,
Sierras,
Bill.
everything ignore defense, or you know, everyone's combo is kind of like Mo Long, you know, everyone ignores
I like that.
defense or
Yeah.
That's a really interesting concept. So what can we do about defense break then? Obviously, I mean, let's just say hypothetically we can nerf it somehow. What's the best way to do it? Should there be a stipulation on how much defense your opponent has? So when you apply defense break, it gives X amount of percentage, or should we just change the percentage overall for defense break instead of 70 go to like 50?
I think the percentage needs to change because you can't really do it the first way because the first way, like if, you know, it's not really fair if something has a low defense. It'll stop people from having to build into defense if it's a set amount, you know. But I think I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore.
No.
Anyway.
But what I was saying was that the first way would be possible if, like, because you know how we just talked about interesting concept, Richard said the more defense you have, the more damage reduction basically is what you have, right? So instead of that, the defense break would scale and, you know, maybe reduce the amount of damage by a certain amount because I don't know how to explain this, but like a unit with like a high amount of defense, they suffer more from the defense break than a unit that's not, you know, having a lot of defense, right? They take a huger suffer amount. So it'd be nice if it was less somehow for them.
Or maybe a flat amount, like everyone, or like instead
Like
of
minus 1,000 defense kind of thing,
Like
right?
that.
So-
Yeah.
So I apologize because I DC'd for a second there, so
That's
I missed
fine.
a little bit of the conversation. You guys are talking about defense scaling units and how you feel like there aren't enough that are viable because defense break is too strong.
well, Tyler, also like
In that realm.
you know, in RTA, I feel like it's a meta where for the opponent to kill the other opponent, it's filled with like Sierras, Mo Longs, you know, just like because people are just gonna have immunity, right? So then it's like armor breaker, Sierra, Mo
One-shot
Long,
units.
right, and stuff like that, or one shot, or ignore defense. So then like, you know, what's the point of having like defense buff? You know, it's gonna get Mo Long, it's gonna get Sierra, it's gonna get armor broken. You know.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense
Oh,
too.
I think it's because you're limited on like what you can run. Well, I guess the other thing that I find that's a pretty notable thing with defense scaling units is there's not that many defense scaling units that are just flat bruisers and that's all they do. Like they're like just normal types of damage dealers, right? They're either nukers, like sick nukers, like a bulldozer or copper. They're either really heavy on the support side, but like how often do you see someone pick something that has like the kit or style of like a tractor or like a Leica or anything like that, right? We just don't have defense monsters that can be used
There's not
without
that many
stacking a billion damage on it.
There's not that many true defense-based damage dealers, you know.
Yes.
Which
All
I
the,
don't
def-
think
all the defense-based damage dealers are either full nukers or supports.
right, which I don't think is their purpose. Is the reason why there's not that many. I think defense units are meant to, you know, sustain there, not meant to blow somebody up. Honestly, you know what I mean? That's probably the reason why there aren't so many. But I don't disagree with Thompson because it's kind of like if you, like, for example, you have a Fran, right? No matter what your team is, that attack buff benefits your whole team.
Yes.
If you have a Laura or whatever, like your defense buff goes up, it may benefit your Velajul. Doesn't do that much for anything else. You know, yeah, it makes them a little tankier. Great. But like attack buff makes everything significantly better. Like Vertihile becomes even more of a god with attack buff. You know what I mean? Like it just gets so much stronger with attack buff.
So
So I
someone
agree with you in that
actually
sense.
made like a really good suggestion for a defense buff. Like you know how right now we just get a flat percent defense to your base defense. So it's kind of not that great, but it's still good.
Mhm.
Flat damage reduction above instead of adding onto, because then that would make you like 100% damage reduction. It's like, let's say you take, it's like a Wind Monkey King's passive, 30% damage reduction, right? It's a damage reduction buff. So
that could be a new buff though, but does that change defense buff?
That could be a new buff.
That could be a new buff.
If you were to add that to defense buff, certain units would just fly crazily high up on the tier list. Like on a realistic spectrum of how strong a unit is, like Tyrannus would probably go to like top 2.
Yeah, well, it would get
right. He would be just insane.
The numbers could change, right? Instead of actually getting a % increase in defense, you get then it'll go to like maybe that's better.
Well, damage reduction ends up just being like a different version of shield. Like it's basically just temporary HP. If you're just removing damage dealt, you're just basically giving them a shield. That's not a buff that can be stripped.
Damage. Like that's because like incoming. Let's say Garrow's doing 10,000 damage, 30% damage. You're reducing 3,000 damage, as opposed to like, and if he scales even higher, let's say he like as a match goes on, his attack goes up. The damage reduction gets even better because he's reducing more, as opposed to shield is always a flat stat. Shield is always 1,000 shield. If he goes up, he's still scaling up, while the defense damage reduction buff scales with the Garrow.
This is an interesting concept that I never thought about with defense buff, and how it's basically just damage reduction.
I don't think defense buff is the issue. I think defense break is the issue.
Right. We're talking about both here.
I don't think you need to change both though. I think you only need to address one.
Really? But don't they have the opposite of both spectrums, right? Like just like attack down is the same percentage.
No,
as
it's the difference between buffs versus debuffs, right? Buffs are guaranteed. Buffs are guaranteed, right? Whereas debuffs are not guaranteed. But debuffs generally have more impact. They always will have more impact.
I understand that, and that's
right because you need the buff to counter it, and there's a lot less units that give the buff.
Yeah, that's true. But right now, like the way they have the game set, right? This is changing the whole system then. Because attack speed up and attack speed down is the same percentage-wise. Attack up, attack down, same percentage. Defense up, defense down, same percentage. So we're trying to change a whole system here, and having the break, the debuff, impact less than the actual buff, or because that's what we're saying, right? We want defense break to be less impactful then, so it's not as strong, is what we're vouching for. Like from 70% to like 50 is what you're saying, right?
Like yeah, exactly.
And you don't want to change the defense buff, is what you're saying as well.
Yeah, I just want to bring up a topic to talk about, but yeah, I'm not really against it being 70, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, but armor break is pretty OP.
It would change the game some if it wasn't so ridiculous that you can't. Like games would be a lot more fun to watch if something wasn't getting one shot instantly. You know what I mean?
Would it though? I'm just asking. Would it?
And
I disagree with that person.
I think that it might be more entertaining to watch as like it's not instantly over kind of thing. You know what I mean? And you get the sense of like you actually get to see what other units will do, and even aside from that, like speed wouldn't be as much of a thing if things weren't getting one shot instantly. You know, so you'd see much different builds and rune sets and stuff like that. Just because.
But then RNG becomes a stronger factor in every match, which is like more frustrating, is it not?
Baby.
Well, no, but I mean, like the longer the match drags out, the more a violent proc matters, right? Because you lose HP and defense.
You know what I mean? Which is why I hate using hat throws. Eventually, I just lose because the RNG just stacks up too high on me. That's all.
But you're advocating to push matches to a longer degree when I know that you hate. But you're saying that's a suggestion, okay?
Right. Maybe that's just a topic to talk about.
Right.
I have no problem with defense break the way it is. I run the comp that one shots things. You know, I'm not really like, you know, advocating for. I'm just bringing up a topic to see what
I think tank units need a like just HP units, right? Tank units, HP units just need like a buff in general. Because right now, if you look at the power scaling of everything in arcade, no one really uses tank monsters besides Molong, right? Molong does, but Molong's like a unique set.
You talk about like the beast monks and stuff like that.
Yeah, beast monks, like even in Siege and Guild Wars right now. Have you seen any like
no?
Before it was,
Yeah.
Like a year and a half ago, like Chandra was meta, Ritesh was meta.
Yeah.
Now that everyone's getting amazing runes, everyone's power scaling, attack is the ignored defense is getting better, defense break is getting better because you have more stronger units. Tank units.
Speed is all that matters, bro.
Well, so okay, so all games do this, right? They go for the meta where it starts with speed meta, and then it becomes a tank meta, and then it always goes to a bruiser meta, and it will always remain in the bruiser meta because of this.
Right now, it's still speed meta. Right now, Siege.
It is.
No. But I mean, like, turn one is like you win the game 100%, right? And it's not quite like that in current. What I'm saying, like speed meta, when I say like it starts with speed meta, it's like if you outspeed somebody, it's completely over. There's literally no chance to come back. And then people build up tanky units, and then the tanks take over, and it becomes this wall meta where it's like, do I cleave people or can you out tank the cleave basically. And then once you can start out tanking all the cleaves, then it shifts over and people start building bruisers, and then you just stay there forever. We're forever going to be in this meta where bruisers take over everything, and it's never going to change.
But that's why I want like more tanks to scale better, because right now, like, if you keep scaling everything up, it's always speed and cleave is always going to be stronger than any tank, because any tank would just always lose if you have enough. Like right now, the only reason why people could never really cleave down a tank is because they never had the stats. They have the speed, but they don't have the damage. But once everyone scales up with like 120%, rune quality, 130% rune quality, everyone's getting quad speed, and then they're swapping all their they're gemming into attack, gemming into attack. They're just massively exponentially scaling versus tanks, because tanks is just kind of flat. It's like linear.
Yeah, like right now in like G3 Siege, like you'll never feel comfortable putting a bruiser comp into these defenses. You know what I mean? Like you're just gonna get this guy like 4 turns to 1.
You just get Lucian.
You're not going to win. Yeah, you're not going to win. Like, you cannot win. It just doesn't matter. I mean, there is certain comps that can do it, okay? But, like, for the general public, like, once you're up there on the top, like, you get outsped, or like you cannot dare to bring a fucking team that's not going to compete for speed into that.
Here's another, like thing, because, like, why I think Beast Riders are actually really OP, especially for defense, is because they have 2 lives that you can't stop.
Yeah.
Let's say... It's
Art Masters coming out tomorrow. Coming soon. Art Masters.
Stopping.
No, just making up shit. Keep going.
Rider killer.
No, but you're right.
I mean, that's what I want. It's like that you add on to the speed meta, like for the defense, and then on top of that, they can't be killed in one shot because they come back and they still at the same attack bar, and then they gain 50% increase.
They lose all the debuffs that were on them too. Right? They lose all the debuffs that are on them too.
All debuffs, correct.
Yeah, and then when they get revived by Tyrannies, they're back on the goddamn mount again, and then you got to do it all over again, right? Goddamn.
I know not everybody have Artemil, but there used to be a lot of fun defense monsters that people play, but now they can't even use them anymore. In RTA, they have to use them in a cleave comp. So like back then, maybe you could pull out Bulldozer for fun, but now no way unless you're outspeeding the other person,
But isn't that what the balance comes down to in the game? Like, you have cleave comps, you have tank comps, and you have bruiser comps. But because bruiser comps are generally the easiest to build, that's why we see them the most, right? Cleave is countered by tank, cleave counters the bruiser, and the bruiser counters the tank.
Not really. I don't know.
Then Cleave counters the tank now. Cleave counters tank.
Cleave only counters. Cleave only counters the tank if you have like the extreme end, right? Like the extreme top end. Because if you're above G1 with a cleave, you have insanely strong runes. Right, there are like 10 good cleaves above
and
rank 1500 maybe.
You're missing the control comps too.
Well, I'd say the control comps are like, I guess so. Yeah, the control comps fit somewhere in the middle between all of it.
No, the control comps are cleaves, man. They're like
all that matters.
But I think the control comps still like are weaker to the bruiser comps.
There's only one unit that matters with those control comps. It's the Nefties, baby.
Because it depends on like the cleave sits in the
because control drags the game out, and the longer the game goes, the worse your bruises. Simple as that.
But your bruise can shift one side to the other, being more tanky or more damage, right? If you get one proc, you lose. You lose that Ganny Thor game. If that person gets one proc, if they're like Leica or something, violent procs out and one shots your units, it's over. You will no longer be able to control that guy.
Violent though.
A lot of Leicas are built on violent.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot.
Leica's not a tank.
I like Leica on violent. Huh?
Oh, Leica's not a tank. That's what my argument was with.
Well, I'm not saying tanks though. I'm saying that's the bruiser comps, right? People use the control versus the bruisers and versus the tanks.
I mean, if you're saying bruisers, I only think there's really one really good bruiser comp right now, and that's like the Jaeger, Ragdoll, stuff like that.
Well, people pick stuff like Bastet, Veligul, and 2 bruisers and like a Ganny or something. Like that's a bruisery comp.
I never seen that in the replays I watch. Bastet, Ganny, Vela. No, not really. Never
okay. Let me start this from the beginning. Are we talking an only top 100 or not? Because I'm talking about top 2500 because I think it's relevant to talk about the people who play the game, not just the people who sit in the top 100.
Good point.
Because the people who sit in the top 100 almost always have 1 or 2 really, really good LDNAT 5s that just bypass the fact that there's a meta.
All I know is, no matter what combo you use, if you get outsped, you're dead. End the story. You get outsped by a Cleave, you're dead. You get stripped by a CC comp, you're pretty much dead. Can you win? Yes, you can win. Are you favorite? No. So if you're not favorite, then your bruiser comp is not working. If you tell me you could bruise a Gani Hathor comp and win 70% of your games, then your theory is correct. But if you bruise a Gani Hathor, you're not winning 70%. You're lucky if you win 30, so your point's not valid. And that's
the thing is, in your bruise comps, you can take those units a lot of the time.
Right. It's not that it's impossible, Tyler. I'm not saying you can't win, but you're not favorite. If you're not favorite, it's not a good point.
What do you see a bruiser comp as? I see a bruiser comp as something like,
if you're stripped naked and there's a Gani Hathor, you probably lost. How about that?
For me,
I think if you're bruising, you're not giving somebody a Gani Hathor.
For me, I think bruiser comp is like some type of immunity along with like, ragdoll, Jaeger and stuff like that, and tyrannies.
Yeah, I think a bruiser comp, in my definition, is like those types of units, right? They're tanky. You're going to be on immunity, and you're basically playing second turn.
Talking about, Tyler?
Right?
I'm talking people who pick like Bastet Vela and a Gani, or like Bastet Vela and a Hathor, and then 2 damage dealers, like 2 tankier damage dealers.
Bastet, Gani, Hathor, 2 damage dealer. That's bruiser comp.
Like a Tyrannus.
I think that's a CC comp because when
I think that's CC.
How is that? There's literally one unit that CCs something. That's not a CC comp. There's no strip setup. There's no strip setup or anything. There's no control.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. But then here's the thing. Like when you pick Bastet Velajoule, the other person gets like all amped up and wants to outspeed your Bastet Velajoule. And then you go like CCC and you go like slow. It kind of like makes you very susceptible to getting outsped.
But that's what I said when I said you can kind of shift either side for the bruiser comp, right? Those last 2 picks allow you to shift either more damage or more tanky or more support.
I see. But in that comp, Ragdoll is really good in that comp.
I mean,
if you go with that Velajoule Ragdoll.
What I'm saying is that if somebody outspeeds you, you're dead. And if somebody cleans you up and CCs you, you're most likely dead. Like you're not the favorite. You'll never be the favorite running second team. Running second turn, you'll never be the favorite. You understand? Unless you have no choice, you run like a Lydia or something like that. But you're still not the favorite. The guy that runs Lydia is not the favorite. Can he win? Absolutely. Can anybody win? Yes. Are they favorite? No. So the minute you're not a favorite, it's not a good point.
So what you're saying is that everybody's challenging speed right now. That's the speed is king right now still, right? When you're drafting, it's trying to take first turn. Is what he's trying to say.
I get outsped, I'm dead.
Oh.
I get outsped, I'm dead.
I'm not arguing that speed is irrelevant. But I'm saying that Cleave is not like
right.
Cleave is very different.
Bro. I run pretty tanky shit. And I get fucking cleaved by speed every time.
I think what Pat's even saying is more so like, yes, like speed gives you first turn, you're not the favorite.
You also contest his speed.
The wording is
I run like Vanessa, Double Beast Rider, Yun Hong, and Tyrannies.
Are you telling me you're not contesting speed by running something like that though? Like you're literally you've picked 1 speed lead and you've picked 2 Beast Riders.
Is it not bruiser enough to 2 lives on everything? Is not bruiser enough?
You're saying I'm like super tanky. You're running like way more on the damage side of like a bruiser comp. So it makes sense if you get outsped by an actual Cleave.
What do? You're gonna run Ritesh so you could tank 1 Lucian the first turn and then have 18 HP next time you move?
I mean, what Pat's saying
I
is
don't think the point of tanking the Cleavers. You're dead. If the Cleave goes off, you're dead. If Savannah goes off, that's 2 turns for the other team. I don't care how tanky you are. If you're giving up 2 turns, you're dead.
You're still crazy.
What is the argument right now? The argument is that speed is literally the biggest meta right now. That's the most important.
Speed is king. Okay. Speed is guaranteed.
What are you saying, Tyler? Tyler, you're saying that.
I'm saying that speed is really strong. I agree. Speed is really strong, but it's like you can tank out those Cleaves. You very well can tank out those Cleaves.
I'll let you build whatever you want on HP, HP, all energy runes, and I want to see you tank a Cleave. You cannot beat the Cleave, bro. I promise you.
You pick 1 speed contention unit.
Like you guys are you guys are arguing about tempo.
Yeah. That's what they're arguing. I'd have to figure out what they're arguing about too.
What Pat is correct. Like speed is king because honestly,
I never argued speed wasn't king. I've repeatedly said I agree. Speed is really strong.
But tank still gets controlled because of tempo. When you create more tempo, even with Cleave, like even though they're
not picking, we're talking about a Cleave. Are we not? Okay, what are we talking about?
The point is, if the guy gets to move 3 times, every time you move once, you lose. End of story.
When you're always reacting to someone, you lose tempo. Tempo is what wins the game.
There are a lot of tanky units that deny tempo.
Okay, let me get this straight. So Wycos is saying, taking first turn, controlling it, wins you the game. And Tyler, what you're saying is that there are ways around that and playing turn 2 then. to
Right,
win the game
right.
at high statistics. Is that the argument? Is that the argument?
There's also a lot of mind game to it in the way you build your units.
You're never favorite going for turn 2. Is that a fair statement? If you concede turn 1, you're not the favorite anymore for the most part. There's very limited circumstances where you're still the favorite after letting somebody go first.
I agree. And then
Especially all the
is
bar push units, the cleansing units, the resetting units, the one-shot units. Daphnis goes first, you're out of unit, right?
Ragdoll is the
Savannah goes first, you have no fucking turn. Varad goes first, you have no more turn. Verd goes first, they go twice.
I can understand the immediate Daphnis setup stuff, but it's like all these other ones require like 2 or 3 other units to set up in the draft, and you can definitely pick and ban around that. You're also under the assumption that like if I'm picking a tankier team, it literally has no speed, which is entirely incorrect. Like a tankier team still runs 220, 230 really easily.
Yeah, but
you're not getting 2 full turns against me unless you 100% deny it.
Tyler, your Bastet Village Jewel cannot be on 220, right? Bastet
No, not for that.
Yeah, it has to be like 300 speed, right?
No, so if someone's picking Cleave, you're not going to pick a bruiser comp. You're going to pick you're either going to speed contend him or you're going to pick something really tanky that will live that first turn and deny something.
I think all Tyler, Patrick, 1 second. Patrick, 1 second.
You can't see what they're running.
Patrick, 1 second. I think all Tyler's saying is that like you have to know how to pivot in or out of a Cleave comp.
Right, and all I'm saying is if you give up for a turn, you are not likely to win the game.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I think being unfavored to win from turn 1 is different than losing the game on turn 1, because you're saying you're unfavored to win, but you're also framing it in a way where it's impossible to come back. Like your chance to come back is literally like 22%.
All I'm saying is the guy that went first has 80% chance to win. You have 20.
I think something that is like often forgotten, and it's exactly like Andrew just said. A lot of first turn comps have a very narrow win condition. Like if one thing goes wrong in a set of 5 different setups, you will lose, right? Like if you're using like Daphnis, Barb, and some other stuff, like if you miss one of those kills, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah,
that comes down to RNG though.
And if you lose,
but a 1 in it doesn't come down to RNG, but a 1 in like if you miss one thing 5 times, if you're using a Chiwu and you miss strip on a Veligul or you miss strip on like a Ganymede, like you're probably fucked.
Okay, let's be honest. Yes, Daphnis lands 1 in 5 times, but Chiwu doesn't miss.
Chiwu misses a lot.
Oh, not for me, man. Chiwu is like
I use Chiwu almost every game, Thompson. Chiwu misses.
Okay.
Chiwu misses 1.
My Chiwu doesn't miss.
Like I said, all I can tell you is if you're turn 2, you're not favored to win. If you're trying to run a bruiser, you're definitely not favored to win. I don't care what you're playing against. If you run a bruiser comp, you're not favored to win in the current RTA meta.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like turn 1s with, like we said, Chiwu, but we're seeing turns 1 with the double stripper like Savannah. It's what do you guys do against that?
Chiwu, Hathor, Chiwu, Savannah, Triton, Savannah.
What do you guys do against that? I don't even know what to do against that.
Against what?
Listen,
like double stripper Savannah.
I think it's harder now with Beast Riders because now, like with all the new Beast Riders and them being so strong, like everyone's contesting for speed because like Barbara needs speed, Savannah needs speed, and they need that first turn. So like it's really hard to deal with Beast Riders if you're not getting first turn, you know.
But by the way, what Pat going back to what Pat says, this actually happens in a lot of turn-based game because this is a turn-based game. RT is a turn-based game, right?
The faster you go, the more turns you get.
Even if you want to go back to card games in general, trading card games, first turn has always the higher advantage to win because of tempo, straight tempo. And
the faster you go, the more turns you get.
Monsters create tempo, cards create tempo, and then you counter with anti-tempo, the only monsters that's anti-tempo, Ragdoll.
Oh yeah. Wait, Jaeger is pretty good too. Jaeger counter
You make it sound like Ragdoll. Yeah, what about the free-to-play players? Hey, all you free-to-play players, okay? You listen to me. You want an anti-tempo? Antares, baby! Pick the Antares, baby!
Antares!
And then...
Didn't someone try to say, I love Antares? What is that?
Triple
Ryu's right though. Antares is not guaranteed. Like Ragdoll's guaranteed getting you bar, you know?
Also, triple Revenge Bird.
Triple Revenge Bird, true.
Triple Revenge Bird depends on whose account, yeah.
All right.
Someone said Antua too, but Antua's not really that.
He has the style of anti-tempo. True, like his kit is anti-tempo.
It's really good anti-tempo for a lot of things actually. Yeah. Attack bar pushback on all of his hits, slow debuff.
Yeah.
he gains turns when you give turns.
Wait, Tyler, have you ever used Amdua and doesn't do anything? Like it doesn't slow.
I don't have one.
I don't have it.
Yeah,
Every time I fight one, it hits 1 out of 4
Really?
every single time on Despair. Yeah.
There's sometimes you use Amdua, it just completely doesn't do anything when you need it to
I've
do
had those
something.
times, of course, yeah.
Oh, you have the yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah,
You know what? You know
I've had
what's great
Amdua for a
about
long time, dude. I've had Amdua for a long time. I've had that unit.
Yeah.
build a slow Amduat, because what counters Amduat is slow Tiana.
Yeah, because a lot of people try to build the fast one to take the turn and cut after Tiana, but people
No.
run the
Dude,
slow Tiana
dude,
and screw you over.
If you have runes like me, there's no
Skills
such
like
thing as
speed.
fast Amduat. Don't worry.
Amdua
To be honest,
speed, bro.
I think
It's
I think
slow by
even if
default.
you're really fast and they have the really slow Tiana, it doesn't matter because like by the time it comes back around, you're probably gonna move
It'll
before
come
they're
back around.
important.
Oh,
damage.
maybe.
Not the time you kill them, because I run a lot of. I have like 3 Tianas and I have a slow Tiana for arena.
Oh, I thought we were talking about RTA.
Oh no,
I thought we were talking about RT too.
Why are we talking about arena? No one cares about arena.
I care about arena.
To be fair to Ryujin, just covered all the Tianas.
I thought we were talking about Garen Forest. Fuck.
Ryujin.
Most of
You
the
know,
Tianas in RTA now are slow, though. You know, like the way really, if you're running Tiana, you're running a slow cleave. You know, I mean, if you want to contest the speed, you're running Triton and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
So
Tiana, I think if you have fast opponents though, that super fast Tiana is a pretty good counter pick
I
against people.
think super
There's no
fast
such thing,
is
though.
really
The
good against
problem
super
is
Red Bird.
super fast Tiana is slower than decent Triton. Is the problem?
Super fast Tiana doesn't get countered by Verd though,
It doesn't. Yes.
which is
Yeah.
like pretty relevant to that that exact thing.
But honestly, how many people have a super fast Tiana?
Agent
me.
Smith.
In RTA. In RTA.
Agent Smith is the perfect example of that.
Yeah. He also has the Nefties.
Yeah, he does, but he also
Yeah.
doesn't have a Chiwu or it's
Yeah,
Triton or
you-
Tiana, so the
I'm not
Tiana makes more sense.
He can one or the other, and he does nothing.
I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
the easiest accounts to do RTA on right now is taking that first turn and it's CC control. I feel like those are the easiest accounts. It's the Giannas, the Savannahs, the Chiwus types of accounts that are so easy to play. They're so easy to draft with, honestly.
Whoa, Brian. What are you trying to say?
I'm saying
the
that
draft.
The draft,
The draft
is
you're
so
talking
easy
about is
with it, dude.
nuts. It's
so-
Chiwu, Gianna, Savannah, and then Nefties or Sierra.
If you have a Nefties,
Ridiculously
if you have a
strong.
CC, like you just have a Nefties and double strip, or you have the Chiwas, it's the easiest like RTAs to do, man. Like I just wished I had the runes to be able to do something like that, man. And the units as well. It's so mindless, dude. It's like
I
the
might
new,
not have a
it's like the
Savannah,
new
but I
Martina,
have
dude.
Khan, so I'm okay.
I mean, you have the units. If you get the Savannah as well, I think you'd have fun with that because of the
Hey,
units you have.
let's be real. All 5 of us, we're gonna get Savannah in one point or the other. So you
Speak
know,
for yourself.
summoning stones or
speak
not.
for yourself,
everyone-
Tom.
No, Pat, it'll come in summoning stones when you get it.
Yeah, so next year.
Next year,
I think it'll be in summoning stones in 2 months.
I think if I
That's
get
my
it,
guess.
it'll probably before I get to Summoning Stones.
All right, very long podcast today, but we talked about some good stuff. I think the topic that I'm most interested in is the state of RTA and the temple of playing in RTA. I think that's an interesting topic we can
That was
elaborate
really
more
cool.
on in the future, as well as defense break and defense buff. I feel like defense. What was
I'm
it?
calling the cockroach. Anyway, continue.
Calling you a cockroach?
Hey, dude, don't bring that back up. I wasn't trying to insult you. I was just saying a small fact because it was funny. I remember.
We're just teasing you, bro. Just teasing you. But yeah, the defense break and defense buff topic was interesting. We also talked about, the new units, of course. But I like the topics that we had in this open discussion. Defense break, defense buff, and the state and temple of RTA. I think that's something that we can discuss and elaborate more. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you guys leave those likes and comments. We're also going to put the links to all of their Twitch channels down below for you guys to check out. And we're actually setting up with today's podcast, the Once in Love and Why Cuz boxing match. That's going to be taking place in December. So that's why we had
The
this
social distancing. We gotta stay 6 feet apart while we box.
that
Yes,
was the whole setup. No, but I like the discussions, right? When we have arguments and discussions, it's good. It's really, really good, right? It's fun, but to get heated. I think this is what people want to see too. So
yeah, it was definitely cool.
yeah. Whether you're right or wrong, and for you, those of you guys with comments down below, let us know what you think as well. But thank you guys for joining me on this podcast, and see you guys maybe next week.
Wait.
What?
Buff Gelnir. Buff Gelnir. Come on.
Stop being greedy.
See you guys next week.
See you, Brian.
See you later. Man.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Yeah, guys, bye.